It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Stacey Higginbotham's here. Jeff Jarvis, the irascible Jeff Jarvis. Aunt Pruitt. Jeff Bezos is going into space. Would you let him if you were on the board? Twitter's paid subscriptions arrive. And President Biden says, TikTok, it's okay. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 615, recorded Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. Bob is unimpressed. This Week in Google is brought to you by AT&T Active Armor. Right now, our lives are on our phones, and with our phones full of live-streamed exercise classes, midday work calls, and nightly family video calls, there is no room for fraud calls. Thankfully, AT&T makes customer security a priority, helping block those pesky calls. It's not complicated. AT&T Active Armor, 24/7 proactive network security and fraud call blocking to help stop threats at no extra charge. Compatible device and service required. Visit att.com/activearmor for details. And by Nareva. Getting your audio ready for meetings back in the office, Nareva Audio is designed for distancing. It automatically adapts to new room configurations, so you're ready for the new normal and whatever comes next. Learn more at nareva.com/twit. And by Audible. For a limited time, Amazon Prime members can save 53% on 4 months of Audible. That's only $6.95 a month. Take advantage of this incredible limited time offer at audible.com/twig. And if you're listening after this limited time offer is expired and you're a new member, try Audible Plus for 30 days with a free trial at audible.com/twig or text TWIG to 500-500. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we cover the latest news from Google and everything else under the sun. Hello, Stacey Higginbotham. Stacey on IoT.com. Giga Stacey on the Twitter. Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you.
I'm so happy to be here today.
You probably were thrilled to see the Matter logo on the WWDC keynote.
Yes, and I have news about Matter I did a panel yesterday with all kinds of crazy people. So we can talk about that.
Oh, good. Yeah, there's lots of stuff to talk about with the Apple support for HomeKit and so forth. But before we do that, let's say hello to Jeff Jarvis. You know what he is? He is the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. He's also a member
After last week, Craig said that indeed, when you're in New York, we can come serenade him.
Oh, yummy, yummy. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Also, Aunt Pruitt.
We could even maybe do a show from Craig's house. I'm volunteering that. I don't know, but he might enjoy that. I don't know. That might be something.
Oh, that
Craig
would be
kitchen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it so.
Does he have a nice kitchen? A particularly nice kitchen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you say that as if, oh, yeah, of course he does.
Well, what do you expect? He's going to have a crappy kitchen?
Well, I don't know. He might.
He might.
He founded Craigslist. You never know what you find on Craigslist.
I'm thinking
It's unchanged since the icebox. Yeah.
I'm just thinking Craig Newmark doesn't eat in much. If I were Craig Newmark, I'd be living at Cirque.
Well, Eileen Newmark has taste. So.
Oh, there we go.
There is a lady of the house. Well, there you go.
There is.
And then there's Aunt Pruitt of hands-on photography fame, twit.tv/hop.
Yes, sir.
And
how you doing, sir?
On this show. It's good to see you. I'm wonderful. Saw you this morning, sneaking out of the building. It's nice. We're slowly getting people to come back. I'm very happy about that.
I had a good Floss Weekly this morning.
Who was on this?
And I don't mean floss in my teeth. Talking about our show, Floss Weekly.
Who was on?
That is the first place my brain goes.
Well, that's kind of the pun. That's why I named it Floss Weekly. I thought, oh, get it? So
now, this was a guestless show, so it was just the three hosts.
Just the news.
Quite a spirited conversation between the three of them.
Aaron Newcomb, who's wonderful. Sean Powers, Doc Searles, talking about lots of stuff, including higher education and Anam, which is the name of the encrypted messenger program that was actually being run as a honeypot by the FBI and the Australian Federal Police, and they busted a lot of people. Although, get ready, because it's been such a success that the federal government in Australia is already saying, hey, this really worked well. We should really have a backdoor into all encrypted messenger programs.
And that's Australia for you.
It was only a matter of time. I expect the same things from the FBI. So it's a clever idea, and it basically plays on the idea that crooks are dumb. I remember a Secret Service agent told me that some years ago. We were talking about, how do you get the passwords? How do you get them to give you the passwords? And he says, most of these guys, they just give it to you. They don't, you hear about.
Isn't that crazy?
You hear the handful of cases where people are holdouts and stuff, and they go to jail for years because they're not cooperating or whatever. But, most of the time, they just say, the monkey 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, have at it.
Wow.
Yeah. Law enforcement officials said users had flocked to the app after other encrypted messaging services like EncroChat, which was widely used by all kinds of criminals. In fact, that's the one we showed you with the Stilton cheese and the fingerprints.
Oh, yeah.
That was shut down by authorities. Anam comes pre-installed on phones. This is why it worked with, phones that you buy on the black market, kind of burner phones. There were... What's interesting is the FBI was charging for this 6 months contracts up to $2,000.
Lots of money. Maybe
that made people feel better. Like, hey, Joey, we're going to use this encrypted app. It's got to be good. It costs $4,000 a year. There were 12,000 Anam-enabled devices. In fact, the way you got it, you had to have an existing user invite you in. Very smart, right?
Oh, this is so smart.
I love it. That widens the net. It's network effects for law enforcement.
Joey Cannonballs Graffatuli said it's good, so I'm in. I got it. It was cooked up in 2018 by U.S. officials and Australian officials. They actually were encrypted, but there was a master key, a back door, so that... the FBI and Australian law.
What made them, just because of the indictments, they had to, the jig was up on the app and they couldn't keep using it?
I guess. Well, it's funny because they just arrested everybody in a big bunch.
Well,
800
why isn't
people.
this entrapment?
It's not entrapment because they didn't.
No, I said why.
It's not because
why?
Because they didn't solicit anything. They just gave them
okay. So entrapment. Okay, I gotcha.
They didn't. It wasn't. The cops going to him saying, I left $1,000 in my sock drawer. If you want to steal it, it was here. They didn't even say. No, I don't think it's entrapment in any way. It's just
it wasn't free either. Okay,
right.
It's like you open a bar and riffraff come in and you listen to them.
Welcome, riffraff.
Hello, riffraff. Welcome to the
place
riffraff bar.
for riffraff.
Anon was available at first in a limited number of countries. Eventually, though, in 90 countries, most users in Germany, where they're very, right, Jeff, very privacy focused.
Datenschutz, crazed.
The Netherlands, Spain, Australia, and Serbia. An international coalition all at once arrested 800 people, everything from the triads in Asia to South American drug cartels, in one of the largest operations, Operation Ironside in Australia. 224 people were arrested on 525 charges. They shut down 6 clandestine drug labs, acted on 21 threats to kill, including one that saved a family of 5. So and look at that marijuana. I'm so glad they're still arresting people for smoking the wacky weed. It's got to feel bad if you get busted for pot in New Zealand. It's like, but wait, it's legal in the U.S. Officials from Europol, the European Police Agency, said 8 tons of cocaine were seized, 22 tons of cannabis and cannabis resins, 2 tons of amphetamine and methamphetamine, 6 tons. You get 18 15 tons, what do you get? Synthetic drug precursors and firearms too. 55 luxury vehicles and 48 million in worldwide currencies. So, wow. They got a McLaren sports car, handguns, rifles with scopes, all sorts of stuff. So,
all of that is in the bad boy handbook, isn't it?
Yeah. Bad boys. Don't use a nom. Apparently, what the biggest catch was a guy who's been on the lam for 10 years, suspected of being a high-level drug trafficker who controls the flow of imports from Turkey, Hakan Ayik. He has not been arrested, but they were able to dupe him into becoming an early adopter of the app and promoting it to others in his network. Hakan says this is the greatest. He essentially set up his own colleagues. By the way, even though they haven't arrested him yet, he's living a lavish lifestyle in Istanbul, and he got plastic surgery, so they can't recognize him. But they're telling him, all those people you told you should use a nom, they're coming for you. So they're urging him, turn yourself in before you could become a target. So that
and don't be holding up any pictures of Stilton blue cheese.
No, whatever you do. So anyway, I actually did not plan to start with that, but it is a big story. It's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah.
We have found out that the former president, might be president again in August. I'm not sure, but anyway, the former president, former until August, will be suspended from Facebook now for 2 years. Facebook responding to the Oversight board, which said, okay, the suspension's okay, but you really should have had a term, a limitation on it. So they've decided 2 years. Did we do this last week?
No, we didn't, because last week you had the
they didn't
false
have the
rumor
decision
that he was already up.
Ah.
I fact-checked while we were on the air.
Thank you.
And then it happened the next day, I think.
The next day, they said, so it seemed like it was, I don't know, it was related. I don't know. Anyway, so he will, 2 years. So the initial suspension was January 7th, the day after the insurrection this year. So January 7th, 2023.
2023.
Just in time to run for president. He will be back. Maybe because they say unless he continues,
they have to judge his behavior. Which, two things about this. One, Facebook has always said we don't judge behavior off platform, but because he's off the platform and they have to judge whether to put him back, they can only judge his behavior off platform, which is very interesting. Yeah. Second, this is a case where I think the original decision was better. I thought indefinite was much better. Let's see how you behave, and it's up to us whether you come back or not. But it was the Oversight board that insisted that was awful. And so now there's a date set where they'll have to judge it, and it's just going to string it out, I think, in another way. But
Jack Dorsey glad there's no Twitter Oversight board, because he did, in fact, say he's never coming back.
Yeah.
Facebook, at the same time, announced that this was a stunner. Apparently, politicians' posts were exempt from Facebook rules preventing users from engaging in harmful speech. You're a politician. Go ahead.
Well, it was the newsworthy. The argument is and the same argument was debated at all the platforms. The newsworthy argument says the public has a right to know their miscreant ways.
Yes, and I kind of understand that.
But
if you're using it to incite, that's different. So if you're inciting people to do bad things. Clearly, there's a responsibility on the platform's part to keep you from doing that. But if you're like the Nigerian president who said, you should kill all the people in the south of the country, I guess that's inciting too. Twitter, in fact, pulled down that tweet, not the account, but pulled down that tweet and is now banned in Nigeria as a result. So I think incitement is a good reason. If people are going to get hurt because of what you say, that's a good reason.
So let me ask you a question.
Anyway, Facebook's reversed that policy. They say politicians will no longer be exempt. But as you know, everything's spongy and soft with Facebook.
Oh, absolutely. It gives them room. What about a garden party standard? That you don't have to incite people to imminent danger.
Oh, civility?
But just to say, no, I don't want that here.
Here's the example I'd give you. If you're a politician and you're an elected politician and you're in office and you say a bunch of dumb, hateful stuff, I think the electorate needs to know you're saying that.
So you agree with the newsworthiness standard?
In the sense that as long as you're not telling people go hurt somebody or go, take
So you're
the
spreading lies about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, well, I don't mind a warning on it. That's different. But what if you say, I think black people are dumb. I think the electorate has the right to hear you say that out loud. Don't you think?
But then again,
I agree with you on that.
With a host of
you would want to know that, right?
Right. I want to know who I'm voting for, who I'm not voting for, not just based on what those ads show and promote all of the warm and fuzzy stuff. I like to know some of the other things.
You know who Louie Gohmert is?
Stuff that comes out.
You know who Louie Gohmert is.
We're going to send him into orbit, sir. Can Bezos? Can you stay off the rocket? Just send him up, please, and not back. A one way.
You lived in Austin. Was Louie well respected in Texas politics? Representative from Texas. Louie Gohmert.
No, all of our politicians are bad. Sorry, I can't say that word.
Can't say it.
This is an example. Here, he's in the House of Representatives. This is an example. This is during a House Natural Resources hearing. Listen to Representative Gohmert.
And so, is there anything that the National Forest Service or BLM can do to change the course of the moon's orbit or the Earth's orbit around the sun? Obviously, that would have profound effects on our climate.
Wait, what?
I would have to follow up with you on that one, Mr. Gohmert.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
laughing.
going to send you a first grade teacher.
She's laughing. So
this is the face that they made when Trump was like, could we just inject bleach into people?
But this is crazier. Yeah, let's change the orbit of the Earth or the moon.
They're kind of equally crazy, but yes, I'm not saying I can't evaluate those crazy
statements. In any event, I think that this is not harmful. It's not like there's going to be some coalition to move the Earth.
You found an example.
But I think people who elected Louie Gohmert should know that this guy they elected to the Congress thinks you can change the orbit of the moon in some way that would be beneficial.
When I first read that tweet, I thought he was saying that Black Lives Matter was trying to do that.
Yeah, Bureau of Land Management.
But
yeah.
I will say there are people in Texas, and there are plots of movies and science fiction shows where you throw a nuclear bomb at a comet or something and it evades the Earth. So I can see people thinking that is
hence the word fiction.
Stacey, you're being far too nice.
No, I literally just had a conversation with someone who kept talking. We were talking about the M1 chips. They were like, now that Apple's building their own silicone. And I'm like, and I didn't want to correct them because
it wasn't, not cone.
It's not a hill I'm ready to die on.
Yeah,
but I would say,
GIF
they
is
are
one I'm
building
ready
their
to
own
die
silicone.
on, but that not. Yeah.
But he just kept going. He was really into silicone.
I know. It's okay.
But there are people who think
just
weird
say,
things.
bless his heart.
There you go.
That is what that phrase is
for. Bless his heart.
You've learned your lesson.
Is for breasts. Silicon is for computers. It's very simple. Don't confuse the two. I'm sorry I said that. I really am. And you could just say, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
He's just clueless. That's like the people who say, I don't want the vaccine because then you can follow me around while they carry a cell phone and a computer.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
And they post everywhere that they are.
Yeah. But I don't want you to follow me around.
Having coffee at Starbucks right now.
Twitter Blue is official. We thought it was just a rumor, but it's already happening in Canada and Australia.
Okay, yeah. I was like, it's not here yet. Now, I'm really curious. Even with the tips and things like that, and I actually just saw my first instance of, hey, if you want to see this person's tweet, it was part of the replies that I would have to pay or
That's
join.
super follow. That's another thing.
That's something else.
So Twitter Blue is a $2.99 a month. Well, we don't know it'll be in the U.S. It's $3.49 in Canada, $4.49 in Australia. We don't know what it'll be in the U.S., but the rumor was $2.99. It is gives you four things: a bookmark folder It's like the stupidest thing ever. A bookmark folder so you can organize tweets you save. Like a little wallet. Maybe I'll give you a little...
Like I save my books behind me. I can have a shelf for my tweets.
Now, this might be useful. Reader mode that makes it easier to read those silly long threads. Okay.
Yep.
You can customize the Twitter app icon on your phone.
Nope.
Make it green if you want.
No.
Access to color themes for the Twitter app.
No.
And if it forbids dark mode
only,
maybe.
sir.
And
dark mode only.
No dark mode. And dedicated customer support.
Plus, I thought the
undo tweet,
which is basically delay tweet.
Yeah, it's just like on Gmail. You get a timer up to 30 seconds. It's like a nanny. Like, okay, count to 10 before you tweet.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
It is a great idea, though.
Would you pay them
especially on the
$2.99 for that? Yeah. Or you
no, because I don't. If I'm drinking, I don't tweet, and thus I don't ever have a problem.
No drunk tweets, or if
I don't follow that rule.
No meat sweat tweets either.
Jeff, I don't think your drinking is going to change from the irascible tweets that might come out when you're upset.
Hey, who you calling irascible? Huh?
Oh, you are charmingly irascible. I love it.
Irascible is such a good word.
I once got someone mad for calling him irascible, and then he was very irascible. It was amusing. So when years ago when we started Epicurious, we were thinking about trying to create some premium products. And I remember the brilliant editorial head Joan Feeney was thinking about all these features and all these features and all these features and all these features, and finally she just realized the thing that's valuable is the recipes. Either we charge for that or we don't.
That's a good point.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. So in a sense, I sense that Twitter is trying to say, what else could be of any value?
What's value?
Some of it is things that, a better layout for conversations. Why would you charge for that? Everybody should have it. So I'm fine to imagine. I value Twitter greatly. I can imagine paying for Twitter and being happy to do so. I don't want a premium Twitter for everybody. I don't want a paywall around Twitter. That'd be ridiculous.
No,
but I don't know that this catalog of goodies is self-motivating.
I liken it to our Club Twit, where really the whole point of Club Twit was support Twit, $7 a month, and it helps us out. But we thought you got to give people something so they get.
But your pitch is support it.
Yeah, and then you get ad-free versions. I mean, there's something for everybody. The Discord But
I got to tell you, sir, we're offering more at Club Twit than what this is proposing to offer for $3 a month.
Yeah, but we cost twice as much.
And we're offering a lot more.
You have Leo Laporte,
it's making the case for $10 Club Twit.
I value Twitter, but $3 a month is just that's not doing it for me.
But how about just to support them because you think it's a good thing, and if you don't support them, you're going to go out of business or something.
Or aren't they getting support from me based off of my behavior and activity?
This is a really good point. Somebody made this point on Twit on Sunday. But wait a minute. That's one thing, if Substack or whatever charges for this. But the Twitter's whole business, their recipes are my tweets.
Exactly.
They're selling my content, really. So you're asking me to pay so I can post my content on your site is a little backwards, maybe. Well, here's the other thing that Twitter is going to do, which is called Super Follow. And this is what you were thinking of. Offer your followers something extra and earn money every month. They get access to a more personalized experience with bonus content, and you get paid for what you create. It's a win-win situation. Basically, it's like Patreon or anything else.
Patreon.
Special labels on the profiles and tweets of your paying fans, so you can see that and you may answer them more readily. It'll highlight in your answers. Bonus content that you can say, only you will get my exclusive tweets and newsletters. Notice we knew that Twitter was looking at this because they acquired a newsletter company. And further options are coming, according to Twitter. Profile badges, perhaps other connection options, other ways to DM. Twitter will also display an earnings estimate to lure creators with a slider showing how many of your followers you'll need to sign up to earn a certain amount of money. It also shows how much money out of this that Apple takes. So just if you're in any question about how much of that's going to Apple, you choose a category. And by the way, there are adult content categories.
Because that's what makes money on the internet.
Yep. So basically, it's Twitter going after OnlyFans, I think. There are a lot of people on, I've heard, people have told me, there are a lot of people on Twitter who post nudes of themselves or semi-nudes saying, for more, follow me on OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah, that's totally a thing. And there's a whole class of... Yeah, and there's a whole class of, they're not really startups. They're features that offer you a bio page where you can send, because you can't stick URLs and things in your Instagram.
Right.
Things.
People
comments.
use Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter basically promote their nudies on OnlyFans, I think.
I see a lot of that on TikTok.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I don't see anything. Man, my TikTok For You page is so wacky.
That's because TikTok knows you, Stacey. No, seriously.
TikTok,
no, it knows
TikTok
because it's very
thinks
much
that
watching what you're watching and how long you watch it. It pays attention.
Oh, no, I know. But it thinks I am, let's see, I get a lot of, and I don't mind this, but I get a lot of content for gay women. I get a lot of content related to animals.
You drive a Subaru? No.
No, well, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so that is my next.
Okay, that's actually really interesting. That TikTok thinks you're a gay woman, maybe. So that's not what I understood TikTok's algorithm to do, which is base it on what you look at. But maybe it's collecting information. Maybe it shouldn't base it on your location. That's silly.
I mean, I do follow people who are gay, but mostly because they're hilarious and they're not all gay women.
Well, they don't know why you're following somebody, so that could be you're sending.
And I follow a lot of dogs. And I follow a lot of language content.
They don't make an explicit decision. Sorry,
it's still hit or miss on me as far as what my likings are. I don't care for all of the duets and stuff like that people do. I don't care for the lip syncing.
Yeah.
But it still suggests a ton of that to me.
I feel like
I pay them to. That's premium TikTok.
I need to come after
I pay
you.
them to harass you with musicals. Yes.
Sea shanties
there you
for
go.
Auntie.
Now that's a business model.
Auntie's sea shanty. I think, unfortunately, and in fact, I took TikTok off my phone because, and I'm going to, this is a confession here, so please don't mock me.
All right. Not yet, at least.
Is that irascible or cantankerous? Which is that?
Cantankerous.
By the way.
How about ornery?
Ornery. We're going to start a new drinking game. Whenever Jeff says years ago, please have at it. Go drink. All right. So years ago,
you're being cantankerous.
Some time ago, when I was working
when I was.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oh, boy. It's coming out today.
You're the one who I started saying, I'm going to give you a personal confession. And you went, ugh.
So because you just said you took it down.
Well, I had to because I'm scrolling through TikTok and it pays attention to what you stop and look at. And I'm sorry, but if there's somebody scantily clad on there,
I go right by.
I can't. Yeah, right. Oh, I didn't see that.
I do because I don't want. I don't want.
That is the opposite of me. Yeah. Whenever I'm like, oh, boobs.
I get a lot of that.
Move.
Oh, see, but I can't. I'm a guy, and so look. And even if you hesitate for a second, it goes. Oh,
apparently
he likes that.
I'm a gay woman, and they're still. I'm like. I'm going up with the boobs. No boobs.
They still don't know what you like, I guess.
I get a lot of that too.
But they think I really like people in bikinis because.
Well, that's because you stop it.
But I don't.
Well,
yeah. Well, hello.
But even further. Well, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying in my mind, I don't want my TikTok feed to be lots of people in bikinis. So that's why I got rid of TikTok because. So what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to, as soon as you see it, you have the discipline to do that, Jeff? You go, no.
Yes, because I don't want it to do that. I know. I don't want it to do that. And
it does do that.
I'm afraid it's somebody who may be underage or something.
I know. I don't want to see it.
Yucky.
You can't hide your eyes.
So what do I have? I have a really cute dog running into leaves. I have another cute dog singing. I have a guy brushing a bull's chin to make him pretty.
So you like so apparently you stop for all the animals.
Yeah, because I'm a nice guy.
I break for animals. I may be irascible, but I break for animals.
First thing I do,
Hey,
I open TikTok page. What do I get? The very first thing. All right, let's see what the second one is. Oh, I don't want to hear the music. Somebody playing the violin.
Oh, this is the latest like dance thingy.
Handsome dancer. Well, at least it's a guy.
No. It's a duet dance thing
in real life.
Like.
Oh, like a dance battle, like a rap battle.
This song is all over TikTok
and
right now.
Somebody else, yep.
No.
So I didn't see how fast I scrolled by that. See?
But you just scrolled past the cute dog, too.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez, Leo.
See, I know.
Right there, you hesitated.
You can't win. So I'm just going to tell you, all I'm going to do now is look at my son's son's TikTok. I want to look at him. This is Space Potato. This is apparently a thing, another thing.
It's adorable.
It's a trend.
Yeah, it is.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
This has to do with Adult Swim somehow. So no potatoes in the pool. He's doing a garlic fries today. So he and I worked out together, and he said, I can't have breakfast with you today. I have to go home and make garlic fries.
Remind me of Hank's handle.
Salt_Hank.
That's right.
And I'm very proud
Salt
of him.
Bay, but it's Hank.
Yeah, he's got 250,000 likes, 29,000 followers. One of his videos has close to 1 million views, 725,000 views. So, he really wants to make this work.
That's what I get on TikTok.
Oh Lord. But if you look who I follow on TikTok, I don't follow anybody in bikinis on TikTok. Right. I follow interesting stuff. So Jackson Brown, so Roger Waters is my husband. That's where you would
get your feed from, is more people like the ones that you follow.
But I have to tell you, TikTok, it's not who you follow. Maybe it somewhat is. It's really what you do when they know that your true self comes out when you're scrolling at night at 3 a.m.
I think what happens to me is sometimes I get caught up watching a train wreck, so they'll send me train wrecks.
Exactly. And so what they're playing on is the natural, sad but natural human rubbernecker instinct, right? Mm-hmm. If you're looking for an accident, and so I don't. Anyway, that's why I took it off, because
my train wrecks do tend to have clothes.
Retcons.
Retcon 5
just sent us a train wreck.
Yeah, he said. Here he says, "This I can't. If I see this, I can't stop watching. I just have to see it." Yeah. By the way, he is very good he's very quick on the animated GIFs. He's like,
I'm impressed. Yeah.
GIFs, damn it, GIFs.
Animated GIFs.
I'm dying on that hill.
Yeah.
GIFs.
GIF, really? You think?
GIF. Oh, yeah. I'm pro GIF.
Yeah. Here's
Stacey and I agree.
GIF is a peanut butter
for peace in the world.
Otherwise, something may explode and change the orbit of the Earth, and we can't have that. The only thing.
Okay, there's a couple of problems with this. I don't, first of all, think we can change the orbit of the Earth or the moon. I don't think we have the ability. But even if we could, would it be good for climate change or bad? Maybe it'd be bad. Maybe you'd send the Earth out away from the sun. Yes, we wouldn't have global warming. We might have global cooling. I'm just saying. It's tricky.
I mean,
this
is.
It's tricky. You got to be very careful if you're going to change the Earth's orbit. You got to be very tricky.
And where does astrophage come into play?
Astrophage. Secret. That's a secret word.
What is astrophage?
That's a secret word. Spoiler. We can't tell you where it's from. We can't tell you why it's from. But I can tell you that I am from AT&T. Watch. This podcast is supported by AT&T Active Armor. Right now, our lives are on our phones, and with our phones full of live-streamed exercise classes, midday work calls, and nightly family video calls, there is no room for fraud calls. Thankfully, AT&T makes customer security a priority, helping block those pesky calls. It's not complicated. AT&T Active Armor, 24/7 proactive network security and fraud call blocking to help stop threats at no extra charge. Compatible device and service required. Visit att.com/activearmor for details. Is it possible to get the Bureau of Land Management to get Superman to fly backwards around the world and reverse time so we can go back to the dinosaurs. Is that possible? I'd like to know.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
and seal up the Andreas.
We'll look into that for you, sir.
Oh, Lord. What a shock. So, Stacey, I'm sure you had some thoughts about Apple's WWDC. We were all excited. Maybe they're going to announce new hardware and stuff. And in fact, they didn't. They just talked about Mac OS Monterey, their new version of the operating system.
Do they ever launch hardware at WWDC?
65% of WWDCs, they launch new hardware. More than half.
Wow. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, frequently they do.
I was associated with
in
October.
the fall, but laptops and stuff, yeah.
But I think actually, in hindsight, it's pretty obvious they only did that because, they have a few events. But now they can do events whenever they want. They had, they've already had an event this year. They had like 4 last fall. So I think
they're doing quite well.
And they're doing fine. So I think that they realize, you know what, we don't have to do this now, even because it's not going to be ready till the fall. So I suspect new hardware won't come now till the fall. But they did announce some very interesting HomeKit changes. They talked about Matter, which is this former chip alliance. Were you impressed? Did you feel, Stacey, that they kind of were being all in on home automation and cooperative with the other players?
They actually did more than I thought they would do. And they were the first person to say a big thing, which is that any Matter-supported device will work with HomeKit. It doesn't actually need to be HomeKit certified, which is a big deal. Google hasn't even said that. They've just said that certain of their devices will work as Matter-compliant devices. So that was a big announcement. They actually also made another really big announcement for the smart home, which is in access control and locks. They said they were going to use NFC on locks, which is a big deal because if you can do NFC on your locks, you can actually have secure opening capabilities with your phone, and you don't have to have all this like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all this. That goes by the wayside, and you can just use your phone to unlock your door.
Well, and now they're using UWB as well, the ultra wideband, which is allows you to see in space where these things are. So
yes,
I guess that's proximity
of.
I thought they were using UWB for the locks.
They might be. So they might be using UWB. It's unclear. They're definitely using NFC.
Okay.
And
that's interesting because I don't think they said
bad.
NFC. They said UWB.
They said it in their story.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I feel like.
But doesn't NFC come with a negative connotation, though? Maybe that's
the only drawback to NFC is it's very short range. You almost have to touch the device with it.
Yes. So maybe that's how they're using UWB, and maybe there's Bluetooth in there, but as a default NFC, because the problem is not every phone has UWB already in there.
Well,
and they certainly don't
Apple
have
doesn't
Apple's
care about
UWB.
that. Apple
know,
says late model iPhones and the Apple Watch support UWB. So, for instance, Hyatt Hotels is going to support UWB keys. They said at 1,000 properties to start. That's UWB, not NFC. So that means as you approach the door, it'll unlock for you.
Right. And that's a little bit different.
They say Schlage, Assa Abloy, Latch, Atrium Evergreen, all will support UWB specifically.
They will support their. Okay, that is big.
This is the graphic that they put up for UWB.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So
I don't know if I want that. I just approach the door and it opens.
It makes me a little nervous, that we've seen. There's Bluetooth now, right, Stacey? There are Bluetooth locks.
There is Bluetooth,
and that makes me a little nervous, like you could be hacked.
So I will tell you that everybody who researches Bluetooth locks, they research it from the standpoint of, because here, you and I might be nervous coming outside the door to unlock it, but the big fear is if I'm on the other side of the door and I come close to it and respond. No. It's if I'm coming close to it on the other side of the door, it'll unlock.
There's a bad guy on the outside.
Oh,
right. But even Bluetooth doesn't do that. So that's something that they've figured out.
It has to be. You have to open the phone and explicitly unlock it.
No. You just have to be. They figured out how to tell if you're on the quote unquote right or wrong side of the door.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's been something that
Well, that's one reason you might want to use UWB because it's very much location aware. That's what they're using with AirTags.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. So as a woman who wanders through hotel rooms or through hotel...
Wait a minute. What?
Hallways.
What did you just say?
Like when I'm traveling, as a woman who wanders through hotel hallways,
oh, okay.
I'm thinking about how I want...
Yeah, just
you don't want doors to open as you walk.
Well, so I mean, I do pay attention. Like if I get off the elevator and there's like a single guy behind me, you know, and he's walking down the hallway too, and I'm walking down the hallway with my luggage, and I'm like,
right.
So turn left, not right. In other words, don't head towards your room because the door.
Right,
will unlock.
I will bypass my room, but if my room automatically unlocks as I get there,
that's not good. Yeah,
right.
That's a very good point.
Maybe it won't, like, I have to experience this in action. I know that's a really
the same thing if, let's say you're running from a bad guy and you run home and want to go in real quick. I guess, unless he's right
then I would
behind
want
you.
that to work.
You would want it to work, yeah.
So that's a tough thing.
And by the way, what's interesting is that these credentials will be stored in your Apple Wallet. Apple's really trying to make the Apple Wallet do a lot. They say the TSA is going to use Apple Wallet so that you can show up at TSA checkpoint at an airport, and the TSA can say what information it needs. Your phone can automatically share that. They say that some states, they didn't say which, some states will allow you to put your ID, your state ID, your driver's license in the Apple Wallet so you don't need to carry a physical card with you. I think that's great. What are the negative consequences? What's the dangers of something like that? Anything?
The danger is if someone steals your phone, but then they can't really access it.
Well, it uses Face ID, I would imagine, to unlock it.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think, I'm just thinking out loud, you know, like if someone takes your phone, they have access to your ID.
The question is, can I just walk up to a TSA checkpoint and it'll see I have an iPhone and a wallet with the proper credentials and just kind of automatically walk through it? That would be incredible.
That would be nice.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to pause so that they could at least look at the picture and make sure it's...
They have to look at your picture and write something on your ticket.
Yeah, circle
They have to sign something on your ticket.
Right. By the way,
but
if they ever write SSA on your ticket, do not, just go home. No, I'm just kidding. But that's where you get the special search.
I thought it was just SS.
Or maybe it's SS. Yeah.
SS.
Yeah. That's where you get
the special search.
Secondary security screening selection. You don't want to be an SS.
They go through your bag. You're at the gate. You think you're home. It's 4 S's. That's right.
Oh, you don't want that.
You think you're home free. No. You go over there.
They search you at the gate.
People are, the gate. And people are loading and you lost the good overhead rack and you're getting, see how neurotic I used to be. Oh. And
you might be interested in this.
Pulling out every wire.
This was leaked by WikiLeaks. CIA assessment on surviving secondary screening at airports while maintaining cover.
Oh,
wow. This document was created for distribution within the organization and other officials who hold appropriate clearances. Look, they have a beautiful picture. Surviving secondary and identity threat assessment of secondary screening procedures. Wow. This is our tax dollars at work, children.
Well, no. This is you're an agent and
you're a spy. Yeah.
You're a spy. Yeah. So that's
well, you should read this before you go through, Jeff, just in case.
I'm just cantankerous.
Jeff doesn't have a cover.
What's your cover? His cover is Professor. That's, by the way, widely overused. You should really get a better cover.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm a journalism
podcaster.
Professor.
How about netcaster? Nobody knows
what the hell you are.
There you go.
Yep. Trust me. I used to try to get into Canada saying I'm a podcaster. I'm a netcaster. They go, well, what do you really do? What's your what are you? Are you undercover?
They probably thought you were a comedian.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a comedian. I get it. By the way, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about TikTok. The President of the United States of America has revoked the TikTok ban, which was never enforced. You might remember that President Trump signed a number of executive orders banning TikTok, saying nobody could invest money in TikTok, et cetera, et cetera. The courts prevented it from being implemented, and now the Biden administration has revoked it. However, it does say that we want to have the Commerce Department investigate any threats, any security risks from Chinese and other foreign-owned apps. But because the executive orders of the previous president were effectively unenforceable because of the court rulings.
Yeah, they still want to say to China,
Josh Hawley, you might wonder what he thinks about this.
Does he want to change the orbit of Mars?
No, he tweeted, "This is a major mistake, shows alarming complacency regarding hashtag China's access to American personal information, as well as hashtag China's growing corporate influence."
Why do you need to hashtag China?
I guess so you can find out what else people think about China. I don't know.
Okay.
So,
Meanwhile, the
actually understand his point of view.
But president also says that he regrets not having followed what the Nigerian president did and just banned some services outright.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. Could you? No, you can't, though. In the United States, we have this thing called the First Amendment. You can't say you're banned. Twitter, you're banned.
Well, we also have a constitution, but...
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
This conversation is for you, Bob.
Oh, boy.
Bob's already gone. Long gone. Hi, Bob.
Just for the record, I went through my TikTok, and the first 3 videos were animals: red panda, golden retriever, flamingo.
So that's winning.
And then my second video, or my second set of videos, were dancers. And there's this one dude. He dances on ice, and he is awesome.
Ice dancing.
So,
now that you've watched...
no, he's like an ice skater, and he does some serious dance moves. It's so cool. Okay. Back to home.
If there's one thing worse than TikTok, it's having somebody describe their TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you, years ago when I started TikTok.
Let me out of here. I'm a podcaster. What is that? What is the name of that show? I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
I'm a podcaster. Get me out of here.
Final thing I was going to say about Apple.
Oh, yeah, we weren't done. I wanted to know more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut that off.
No. That's okay. I love what they're doing with using UWB, the watch, and your phone to understand context clues for things like how things will respond in your house, and even things like grouping devices in your home. So when they showed that your Apple TV is going to be able to show work with devices that were proximal to the TV in that room, I was like, baller. That is excellent. That is one of the best uses of context I think I've seen. And I think Apple, it took them a while to get here, but they're really, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to be like, holy cow, they have defined the smart home for us.
Somebody had to, right? And it's interesting because Apple makes no smart home products except for maybe the HomePod Mini.
And they don't really care about it.
But they are things like they announced they're going to support unlimited storage of HomeKit camera videos on iCloud. They don't make a camera, so they're going to support other companies' camera videos, which I thought was very interesting. Google charges a pretty penny to store Nest camera footage, but Apple says no.
They charge a pretty penny for Nest cameras too.
Yeah, no kidding. You would look at what Wise charges for what probably is the same camera. It's like, oh, so there's a little bit of profit in there. They also said that Siri voice was going to be in some devices, but I think I misunderstood that when they said it. It's not like you can get some devices now that have Amazon's Echo in it. It's not like that. It's going to still connect to your phone. The phone's going to do the Siri stuff. And then,
but I thought it was local now. I thought
it's local processing on the phone in some devices. Oh, they don't have the capacity. Hold on.
They showed an Ecobee thermostat. Oh, she's gone.
She doesn't need a wise cam. She has a dog.
Yeah. So I'm going to wait till she gets the dog fixed because
TikTok listens and knows that likes animals, and that's why it gives her.
Oh, that's why. They hear the barking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I need more barking.
So she's going to keep barking until they come in. So I feel bad.
Oh, I like barking. So the Ecobee does have Siri built in.
So what's Ecobee is going? They actually put out a press release too about this, or a blog post. Ecobee is going to, if you have the Ecobee hardware that speaks with Madam A right now, because it has the existing microphone and speaker in it, it will add Siri. So that's what they're saying. So these are two announcements. The Siri local is one announcement. Siri being on other devices that have the capability to do, other HomeKit devices that have the capability of using, that can use a voice assistant, they will also get Siri. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you will need it, apparently, at least it's unclear, but it looks like you will need a HomePod or a HomePod Mini on your network to route those voice commands.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it will act as, like you're saying, it will act as Siri's brains.
Yeah.
Like my Ecobee could become the brains for Siri.
No, more like the input to the Siri. So like the Ecobee will hear you, take what you say, send it over to a HomePod Mini, which processes it, sends it back to the Ecobee, which speaks. That's what that's what the SDK does, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's very unclear, because if you look at Ecobee's announcement, it looks like they're saying, in fact, they say the words built-in support for Siri. So that sounds
Siri would actually do, well, today even the built-in support for Madam A on the Ecobee does go to the cloud. So not all devices that support Siri will do local processing. So it may support Siri but not support local processing. Right. They're going to have it. So also,
so Ecobee says, if you have a smart thermostat with voice control, as you said, but you also have to have a HomePod or HomePod Mini. So I know that's kind of weird.
That is weird.
So it's a gateway to the HomePod, but the HomePod is remember that Apple TVs, iPads, and HomePods are HomeKit base stations in effect. It's very confusing.
Gateways. They're on Thursday. They're having a session all about their smart home stuff and Matter and that sort of thing.
And you'll be watching that, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm like, I will be paying attention then, but I have more I don't knows for you.
Right. It's really interesting because Apple, which is really in many ways thrown up more walls in their walled garden. I mean, really, a lot of what Apple showed is a message to people: just use all Apple stuff. Forget anybody else.
Come into our ecosystem and stay here. It's great.
It's beautiful. Yeah. But in some ways, they also broke down some of those walls. Things like allowing third-party devices access to Siri. FaceTime will also be now on Android and Windows.
No. It will work on the web if you're on one of those devices.
Yeah, some sort of WebRTC solution.
That is not. I'm like, I mean,
well,
it's
but
nice,
that's more than it did before. You know, if you had an iPhone and you wanted to make a FaceTime call, you could only call other people with Apple stuff.
That's more a response to antitrust concerns than anything else.
Well, and the success of Zoom, because they basically are turning FaceTime into a Zoom clone. You can send out invites to a FaceTime meeting. So you don't want to have to say, well, I'd like to send Aunt Maud an invite, but does she have an Apple device? I don't know.
Right.
Well, and I think that's they realize that they are, I mean, I will say the people who aren't in Apple's ecosystem today are probably people who are just never going to want to be in Apple's ecosystem, right? I don't know if you can sweeten the pot enough to get us over there. And so I think
is that Jeff saying over there?
They're like, here are the minimal bridges. They're not going to be like super nice bridges, but we're going to build a couple bridges because even our own customers are kind of like, Jeff is always telling us he can't join our FaceTimes because blah, 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 irascible Jeff, and they're like, okay, here's a bridge to Jeff.
Jeff doesn't like bridges. I just want to warn you.
Oh, that is true. Sorry.
I get very irascible about it.
Very irascible. All right, one more Apple thing, and then we're going to move on. But I wondered what you thought about Apple Mail eliminating the hidden pixels. In fact, I saw you tweeting about it.
I was just getting ready to ask. I was like, please don't go away from that, because I wanted to get her thoughts on this. With newsletters
I'm
are
real
like
sad.
Branding and marketing 101. You get email addresses, check, I got it, I'm good to go. And then you find out just how many people actually open those emails, and you take that number and you can use that to talk to sponsors and things like that. And what are you thinking about this, and how you feel it may affect, say, your newsletter?
I am, I was like, well, there go my newsletter stats, which is what I tweeted.
Your initial tweets, you were very disappointed. Yeah.
I was like, bummer. Now, I will say, when I first dug into my newsletter stats, I was appalled at what I could see. Like, I could see, I mean, I was like,
who do you
cow.
use?
MailChimp.
Okay.
Yeah. So if
But Constant Contact, MailChimp, Substack, everybody does this.
Yeah, they all do this.
That's how you get stats. An open rate. It sounded like you could tell which articles people read too.
Oh yeah, I can tell. So I can tell you at an individual email level what articles you individually read.
Wow.
Right? I can tell you what ads you individually clicked on. I don't look at that personally, because I don't need to. My sponsors, if I did that deal with them, which I don't, I could do a deal and they would pay me a lot for me to give you their emails from that particular campaign, and they've asked. But what I am so I feel like, man, could we do it like at a less granular level? Because what I look at is what percentage of people opened my emails. I look at their IP address information, which Apple was like, and we hide your IP address. Like it's nefarious. But I look and see things like 30% of my audience is outside of the US. Sometimes it's up as much as 40%. So I look for like when I'm scheduling things. And then I can also see I can see who specifically read articles, but usually what I'm looking for is like how many people clicked on this particular article, that sort of thing. So just so I can say, oh, people really don't care about my obsession with, I don't know, machine learning at the edge. Nobody's clicking on it. Let's dial back that coverage.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
so
vice
I will be
versa.
sad if that goes away. Yeah.
So Casey Newton has a big thread about this on his platformer because, of course, Casey Newton
just got into the newsletter business.
Just got into this business, and so a couple of points. He says 93.5% of all email opens on phones come in Apple Mail on iPhones or iPads. So those. You've lost stats about them completely.
Really?
93.5%.
of all
On
mail?
desktop, Apple Mail on Mac is 58% of all email opens. So it's more than half of
Is that
all.
for his newsletter?
No. This is market share numbers from Litmus for May 2021.
For
Okay.
what?
I was
For
like,
all?
I know
For
my
all.
newsletters are not quite so high, but yes.
Yeah. Well, yes. So it's everybody, not just you. Now, he then quotes Alex Kantrowitz, who is also a newsletter guy. He left to create big technology. He's been on our Twitch podcast many times. Used to work at Ad Age, so understands the ad business. And this is what Kantrowitz says. The advertising industry has addicted itself to tracking, prioritizing bottom-of-the-funnel metrics at the expense of great content and creative. It's tragic, and it's why people hate advertising and ad companies. Both Casey and Kantrowitz say at what somebody said on Twitter on Sunday, you're going to lose this. But there are other ways to judge your audience. Casey uses surveys, as does Kantrowitz. You're going to have to give it up because once Apple does it, it's others have done this. I mean, I've used email clients that block those pixels for years, but it was always we're only a percentage. When Apple does it, it's a big deal.
Leo, can I ask you a question here when you're done?
Yeah, he said, I'll play right into your wheelhouse because he says the media business changes so quickly. I don't find it at all irrational to read about a move like the one Apple made this week and assume it will be bad for journalism. But Newton says, in this case, it mostly strikes me as a false alarm. There are any number of changes that major email providers, including Apple, Google, and Microsoft, could make that would make life more difficult for newsletter-based businesses. In the end, though, I don't think blocking spy pixels is one of them. Now, your turn.
So if we could, move the moon and go back a few years.
Superman has to spin the Earth backwards, I believe is how that works.
Okay, right. All right, that's what it is. And forget all the cooties that pixels and tracking and surveillance and everything have, right? It was early days of podcasts. If you could do it all over again, and if there were a tracking bit in a podcast that let you just know for sure that somebody listened to it or listened to the end or whatever, would you wish for that?
No. In fact, I wish fervently that this ad tracking stuff had not come to podcasting, because it's my opinion that what we offer advertisers is a very specific niche. Now, I admit, if you're Will Ferrell doing the Anchorman podcast, you don't have a specific niche, so you might have a stronger reason to try to understand your audience. But I don't need to understand my audience. I know exactly that the people who listen to this show and all our shows are very much tech enthusiasts. That's why this network is very, very focused on tech enthusiasts. And I know that makes it a good avenue for a certain kind of advertiser. And then the only thing I really think an advertiser should look at is return on investment. Did the sales increase justify the ad spend? Period. But advertisers from day one, and this is classic in all sorts of new media where they want to do direct response, they want to get some idea. So when you first, new cable channels like Tech TV when it started, you see all these, use the offer code TechTV20. You still see that on a lot of cable channels. That's called direct response advertising, and that's how advertisers have in the past responded to this. It's a very imperfect method. It's particularly bad on our network because most of our users are smart technology-wise. This is the disadvantage of this audience. And so they go, oh, I heard an ad for Casper. I'll just go to Casper.com. They don't go to the special URL. They don't remember the offer code. They don't care about the offer code. And if they do an offer code, 9 times out of 10, it's just twit. We already know this. We've surveyed it. We've found out. They just use twit. In fact, we try to tell advertisers, don't use twig. In fact, you'll see a lot of our advertisers now just use twit as the URL or the offer code. We tell them, don't try to figure out which show's working for you. You can't. They're going to, almost 9 times out of 10, people are just going to say, well, I heard it on Twit, the Twit network. It's Twit, and use that offer code. So, but even then, I don't want tracking. I know our audience hates it, and I don't think you need it as an advertiser. You should just be looking at, did the ad work? And if your business bottom line, it'll work. Your business went up, good. Keep advertising. But no advertiser works that way.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. Nobody wants to re-educate the person who has the checkbook.
Right. Well, we try.
Lisa
spends hours educating people all the time.
And Andrew does have, and we have the benefit of.
You have the same thing. Andrew, a targeted audience. Yeah,
Andrew explains things to people, and I also have an audience that spends not $1,000 on a mattress. They spend $100,000 or $1 million buying a service provider.
Notice,
so it's a little different.
A lot of our ads are moving towards enterprise for that exact reason, right?
Exactly, and they should. You've got an educated audience that people want to get a hold of. Remember Spiceworks?
Right.
I think they're still around.
Yeah.
They were a great company because they created these forums for crazy IT people who wanted to talk to each other about problems, and all of a sudden, they were like, we are sitting on an enterprise ad network goldmine. And it was a brilliant business model.
What happened was all of those freebie magazines like PC Week and InfoWorld, which were given away to executives in companies, went away. And that was how enterprise reached those people. And now they're desperate to find ways. So your newsletter benefits, our podcast benefit. Yeah, I used to read them too. And they were gimmies, but remember how you got PC Week? You had to fill out a big questionnaire to prove that you were, somebody.
Do you make decisions about technical products?
Yes, yeah. It was worth it. You could lie, but it was worth it because it was a great magazine. Dvorak was in the back, it was Spencer the Cat, and InfoWorld was Dvorak. Anyway, the world has changed a lot, and the problem is advertisers are like crack addicts. Once you give them the first taste of metrics, of analytics,
but what I don't understand,
that's good stuff. I want that. I want more of that.
If we all know the world is changing, why don't the ad agencies see it the same way? TV today is not the same as TV 20 years ago, so I'm sure they're not selling this
because they don't have to
yet.
The pain hasn't gotten bad enough for them to change their business models just yet.
And
their
they
clients.
Make money by placing ads. So they're getting a piece of the buy, and making the buy more efficient isn't good for them.
I think about what Mr. Laporte said a few minutes ago, saying don't use those don't suggest using these codes because you're not going to see it right out the gate. people listen to podcasts regularly, but that doesn't mean they listen to them on a regular schedule. Like today's show is probably not going to be listened to until next week for a lot of people.
We have to explain that all the time because agencies call and they go, "Your ad ran yesterday and I didn't see any bump." It's like, no, it's not right. You're not buying CNBC. You're not buying.
It's not television. It's a whole different monster.
You're buying a podcast. We literally tell them 6 weeks before you'll know whether the ad had a result.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Lisa tells me that we cannot sell ads anymore without having Chartbeat or Pod Sites or one of the analytics companies doing essentially what those invisible pixels do. It's basically an invisible pixel. They even call it a tracking pixel, even though it's not. And so, but when we did that, we tried really hard to make sure that information did not go to the advertiser. It doesn't. And
there are places that do. Like I've looked at contracts for like events or other things. They will just give that email address up in
I've explained it before. It's kind of complicated, but we send them our logs in effect. They see the IP addresses that downloaded the show, and then the advertiser puts a tracking pixel on their webpage. They send them the logs of the people who went to the landing page, and then Pod Sites or Chartbeat matches it up. And they say 43% of the people who heard this show went to your landing page, and they don't get any other information than that. Just how successful was that campaign? I feel like that's a very minor. Yeah. It's not an intrusion at all, and we of course have to ask these companies. There's two of them, Pod Sites and Chartable. We have to say, you got to preserve this. And this is private information. You can never send this information to anybody else. And they say yes. And plus, advertisers do not share their information back with us. So we really try to keep it isolated. But still, people don't like it. And as a result, by the way, one of the downsides of it is a lot of ad blockers now block the downloads of our podcasts. So I have to explain to people all the time, you have to unblock Chartable and Pod Sites and Megaphone in your ad blocker or your on your router or whatever it is you're using, your Pi-hole, because Pi-holes will block us. You can't all of a sudden you can't download our shows anymore. So it's very frustrating. That's why we created Club Twit, frankly, so we could say, you want a tracker-free experience, no ads, $7, that's it. That's exactly why we did it. It makes me to answer this is a long answer to your question, Jeff. No, I hate it. I don't want to do it. I would never accept that. In fact, my attitude has always been, and Lisa says I'm a fool. My attitude has always been, tell them no. Sorry, we're not going to do it. We give you great results. Trust me, you're going to get great results. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Right. But I'm not going to give you any information about our audience. Period.
So back to your question.
I have these same conversations.
Of course you do.
Oh yeah. I bet you do.
Toe the line, hold the line. But you know what? I don't know about newsletters.
It's an eroding shore, my friend.
In podcasts, it's an eroding. Because of Spotify and all these other companies, there's no way we can win this. All the ad dollars will go to companies that give the advertisers that information. Period.
And some years ago, not too long ago, I had a meeting with...
Good job. I'm really getting wasted now, I'll be honest.
I'm hurt. I'm actually quite hurt. But
we love your stories. I was teasing you.
No, you don't.
Oh, I do. I want it.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep.
I really want to know what happened in Entertainment Weekly 22 years ago. I need to know that.
F you. Just F you. Just F you.
Did you ever work for Gannett? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Because we're trying to find out, was this on this show? How you pronounce Gannett? Gannett.
Oh, no.
I didn't work for them. I can know that. You can just ask me the question. Okay. I knew that.
Yeah. Was it this show, Ant, or was it on Twit?
No, sir. It was on Twit Sunday.
We were going back and forth because both Florence Ion had worked for them, and so had Roberto Baldwin. And he said Gannett. I say Gannett, and she said Gannett. I worked for him, she said. I don't think it was Gannett.
Sorry, Flo.
Okay, Flo. Sorry. You lose. Go on. Sorry.
Anyway.
So tell me what happened years ago.
No, I'm not going to do that. And,
yes, sir.
Don't get all sensitive on me, Jeff.
I am sensitive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
love you. I'm not mad at you. I love you. Please don't get sensitive on me. I'm sorry.
So one of the founding parents of programmatic advertising scolded a whole bunch of media properties in my space and said, why are you using this? It commodifies you. You shouldn't be doing this. Tell the agencies, tell this and that. And a chief revenue officer from one of the media properties, online digital pure play, said, I got to go to where the dollars are, and the ad agencies are all putting their dollars into programmatic, and that's where I have to be. And nobody changes their path. And you have a bunch of media people in the ad agencies, when they're buying big buys, they're just going for the data. That's all they've ever done is gone for the data. And so that's the way it is. And it's very hard to change that. The question is, I think we need advertising forever in media. Media will never be self-supporting without advertising. We need to sell these eyeballs. Sorry, folks. We got to do it. It's the only way to support and give you the things you want for free. But we got to reinvent advertising. We got to rethink that too, because it's borked. Even though I think surveillance is overdone.
If I could wave a magic wand, I'd say Club Twit. Just join Club Twit. We don't have advertising anymore. But
but that's. I will say it limits your audience. Like we get a lot of questions from people who are, high schoolers who are interested in IoT,
I agree.
which is weird.
I'm with you.
And I need those people to be there. They're my audience coming in, and it's hard to.
Yep. That's long-term.
No, free is democratic. I completely agree with you.
Anyway. Okay.
But
maybe we should do like a Tom's model where you buy one, give one, and then you're just subsidizing the next generation.
If 10% of our audience paid, the other 90% could freeload. It would be fine.
Freeload. It's like The Guardian.
We only need 10%.
Radio.
We don't.
6 to 12% of public radio pay for public radio. In addition to sponsors.
Isn't that the magic?
I was going to say, but there's also sponsors and government funding for public radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way,
Mock Jeff Day.
And by the way,
calendar.
I just want to say, public radio has more ads than we do.
Way more.
Oh yeah.
Which really bugs me.
Speaking of pronunciation, ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it Carnegie?
Yeah.
Carnegie.
Oh. Which is it, Jeff? You're the arbiter.
I've always said Carnegie. Mm-hmm. But you're right.
But
when
you hear
NPR. The announcement, it's Carnegie.
Well, it might be like Pulitzer. Like there's the
Pulitzer.
It's Pulitzer Prize, but
it's Pulitzer Prize.
It's Pulitzer Prize, but the Pulitzer family likes Pulitzer. So it might be like that.
Oh, so it's like GIF and GIF. GIF and GIF.
It's not the Nobel Prize, though. I'll tell you that right now. That's a really interesting. So it might be the Carnegie Foundation is different than Andrew Carnegie, right? Or Carnegie Mellon. Because I know it's Carnegie Mellon, not Carnegie Mellon.
Right, but his family founded all of them, right?
Yeah, so it's confusing.
Okay, sorry.
Wait a minute.
That total non sequitur.
Yeah, but you know what? If they're saying Carnegie on NPR...
I feel like they would know, right? They're paying for NPR to pronounce it correctly.
Exactly.
And the money came from...
Carnegie. The Carnegies.
Carnegie.
Okay. Switch to the British pronunciation on top there.
You think it's British?
I don't know. No, I'm just curious what it says. It's Scottish.
Carnegie.
But you know what? Scottish might be Carnegie.
Scotch.
Carnegie. I play golf and I hate...
Oh, good. Who started him going?
I don't know.
You did.
I want some whiskey. It's pronounced Uskaba.
It's Dunna no.
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
Here it is. English with Julian. How to pronounce Carnegie correctly. Let's see.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name as well as how to say more interesting names in English. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing.
What language does this guy speak?
How do you say it? Carnegie. Carnegie. Pretty straightforward. Once you know, Carnegie.
So
Carnegie.
He sounds like he's from some island.
Right? And now you know.
What the heck is that?
Something's happening with him.
He's been in a bottle.
if it's pronounced Carnegie.
What else does he tell you to pronounce? Does he have a whole site of this?
It's Julian Miquel. It's his whole site. It's all.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. It's
probably telling you
how to pronounce Moe and Chandon. Here we go. Maybe he's French.
Oh, he has.
Guys, Julian Miquel here of Social Vignerons back
he's
with
French.
another video.
He's French.
This is how to pronounce Moet and Chandon, and more importantly, why you shouldn't pronounce it any other way. There is an eternal debate on whether you should pronounce
Moet et Chandon.
in Chandon or Moet in Chandon. So let's clear things up once and for all.
Here's the one I want to
yes,
watch.
That's the one I want to know.
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of newborn baby of Canadian singer Grimes and Tesla's CEO Elon Musk, spelled X-A12. It is unclear at this point if this is the actual name of the baby and how the parents will want it to be pronounced if it turns out to be. Congrats to Grimes and Elon in any case. Some have speculated it might be a code tweeted by Elon to say the name is Xavier. Others wonder if it might be a joke. For what we know or can speculate upon, this name could be pronounced as X.
You want to know how many views this video has? Just out of curiosity. You want to know? 1.19 million views.
Clickbait. We were discussing this earlier.
The thing is that the AE is pronounced Ash, and I think that's the name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Ash.
No, the X and the A12 is just extra crap. Ash. I think they're going to call her Ash. Anyway, wait a minute. New York Times weighing in. Michael Pollack in the New York Times, FYI. I always thought the concert hall on 57th Street was pronounced Carnegie Hall. Now I hear announcers on National Public Radio refer to the Carnegie Corporation. What did Mr. Carnegie himself prefer?
The definitive New York Times.
Mr. Carnegie was, of course, born Scottish, and the correct pronunciation of his name is Carnegie, says Susan King, a spokesperson for the Carnegie Corporation of New York.
Scottish.
Oh, and it was seconded by Carnegie Mellon.
That pronunciation was seconded by a spokesperson for Carnegie Mellon University, Angus McTavish McGee, who checked with a linguist on the facility. So he was born in Dunfermline, Scotland, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong.
I think you didn't pronounce that right.
Dunfermline. Laddie, say it right or you don't get no scabba.
Susan King is the dean at UNC's School of Journalism who's been trying to give tenure to Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Oh.
The heat of all that story. You know about
Interesting.
That story?
No, I don't know about that story.
You know who Nicole Hannah-Jones is?
This is really going to upset Bob.
Who's Nicole Hannah-Jones?
Between them,
He's
as
the New
well
York Times
as
writer.
University of Maryland has now jumped in and tried to back up this professor because of her lack of getting tenure. Is that right, Mr. Jarvis?
Yeah, lots. I started a letter actually with 300 journalism professors who signed it in protest to the board of trustees at the university, and I then had a conversation with the head of the board of trustees, which was interesting.
So she's an Black African American investigative
she
journalist.
Created the 1619 Project of the New York Times.
Oh, I love the 1619 Project.
Well, Bob's not going to like you for that. I'm telling you. Bob's going to be very mad at you for that. And
as I said, Bob stopped listening. as we now know,
before we were on the air, folks.
Although people
there is our show title. Bob is unimpressed.
Bob is unimpressed. So the premise of this is because the 1619 Project was in some way not historically accurate, which it was, but some people feel it wasn't. Actually, the argument isn't really about the facts. The argument is, would it be better not to dwell on the fact that this nation was born in slavery? We have
not been dwelling on that for a while, and we have not gotten very far. So I think it's time to actually acknowledge.
I don't think anybody debates the fact that slavery existed, and that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Madison were slaveholders and all of that. But the people who don't like 1619 Project say, well, you shouldn't be saying the founding fathers were pro-slavery. They didn't want to be.
Well, the funder to the Husband School of Journalism, who runs the paper in Arkansas, and gave them money on the condition that they would chisel his words on the school, literally. So Husband sent letters of complaint to the dean, Susan King, and to the administration and board of the school, which is not a cool thing for a funder to do, let us be clear, in which he said, well, she didn't give enough credit to white people. There were a lot of white people who helped out. She said that black people had to do this alone. That's just not true. There were some Jews who helped too. He honest to God said that, and that's kind of.
But were there any Scotsmen who helped? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh man.
So Husband owns newspapers, and anyway. Yeah, you're right. A funder shouldn't get to say, what the university's ethics are.
So, and you're right. There have been.
I know. Nor should advertisers, but it's pronounced Carnegie. Damn it!
Sorry, that was hilarious.
I know. What did Ant say? I missed it.
I missed it because I was saying what Ant was saying.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Lots and lots.
Oh, I'm going to listen to the show now.
Supported Nicole Hannah-Jones, and there's a list of like 30 petitions and letters from universities, from the students at the school, from faculty at the school. They're enraged that the Board of Trustees has not offered her tenure. So, yes.
Yeah. So
one of the stars of the field.
Yeah. By the way, if you get a chance to listen to 1619, you really should. I think it's an important part of every American's education. Not to say we're a bad country and we're bad people and all that, but you got to know our history. And
we also have to know how it's
a shameful history in many respects.
Know the history and evolve,
so that we can be better, so that we can do better. Yeah.
And you can never, unless you review your mistakes. Look at error reports in engineering. Unless you review your mistakes, you're never going to be able to fix them. I think that's
fair. I'm sorry, Bob, but it's the truth.
Well said.
I had a colleague try to argue that, objective journalism, and we just tell people how a bill passes. I said, well, if you're going to tell them how a bill passes, then you better talk about the filibuster and its racist roots.
Yeah. It's funny that I think for years people didn't really think about that, or the Electoral College, or the Senate, and the real reasons why there's a North and South Dakota and a West Virginia and a Virginia. And I think that history needs to be explained, because otherwise you say, well, no, we've always had the filibuster. We haven't.
No, we haven't.
We haven't. And we certainly have not always had the email filibuster, which really is kind of appalling. You don't even have to. At least Jimmy Stewart had to go out there on the floor of the Congress and get hoarse, talking and talking and talking. I think, honestly, probably that movie, what is it, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? That movie single-handedly made the filibuster part of the American mythos, right? Because he filibustered, but he actually had to speak. Now you can just send an email.
Mine was when Leslie Knope had to filibuster. Yes. On roller skates, no less.
On roller skates.
Now that I want to see. Was that at the the city council meeting?
Yes, it was the city council meeting.
I didn't know they had the filibuster. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He very famously.
Mr. President, I wish to ask my distinguished colleague.
He
one scrap of evidence to add now to the defense he did not give and could not give at that same hearing. I have no defense against forged papers. Committee ruled otherwise.
So towards the end of the filibuster, he's really tired. He's been talking for hours and hours. It's a Frank Capra movie. Let me see if I can find the end of the filibuster, because Jimmy Stewart sprayed his throat with something that would make him hoarse, so that I don't know if I can find that clip. Everything's here he is. Everything's on YouTube, which is pretty cool.
I guess this is just another lost cause, Mr. Payne.
So he's on the floor of the Senate, filibustering.
All you people don't know
about lost causes.
This is why we think Leslie Knope's filibuster was about voting rights in Pawnee, Indiana.
There you go. But I swear to God, this is really where our sense of history comes from. The movies.
Narratives are so powerful.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Nobody's in that room.
Yeah.
Nobody's in that room in real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's speaking to.
Yeah. No, look at there's it's standing room only in the Senate in the movie. Anyway, great movie, but maybe not the best argument for a filibuster. Let's take a little break. We will come back with more. Actually, one more. There is one more story, because we were talking about advertising. I should probably mention that Google, this is from the Financial Times, boosts Android privacy protections in an attempt to rival Apple. Remember, Apple got a lot of heat from Facebook for allowing you to turn off tracking. Android users can do that in the settings, but developers have been able to circumvent those settings by relying on alternative device identifiers. Google's now cracking down on that. They announced today in an email to Play Store developers that they wanted to provide users with more control over their data. And so following the overhaul, developers who try to access the advertising IDs of people who have opted out, actually this was last week, of people who have opted out will receive a string of zeros instead of the identifier. So Google said, we can do that. We do that. We do that. It's the same thing, though. We've said this before. Google, Apple, Facebook, they're all first party. And all your blocking is third party at this point. And
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
I can tell you the first time I started saying it.
For all the years. I caught you, Jeff. I was like, oh, no.
Was it at a board meeting
Jeff.
of Knight Ridder Foundation? Jeff, please. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I love you. I love your anecdotes. I think you're the greatest. Oh, I feel bad now. I feel bad. Let's take... No, I do. I was joking. I was teasing.
I can't tell if you guys are like being real or not. It hurts my very sincere little heart.
I am sincere.
You never can.
No, I am being completely sincere.
Well, I know you're being sincere, but I'm like, is Jeff sincere? Does it really hurt? Oh my God, what if we hurt Jeff's feelings?
I hope we didn't hurt your feelings, Jeff.
Look at that face.
It's still pink,
nice puppy dog eyes.
But he does seem sad. You actually do that really well, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
My acting career is coming up.
Well, apparently your Scottish accent's better than mine, according to the chat room.
No, I was wrong.
Probably somebody from Scotland.
I was Carnegie.
Carnegie is correct. I'm glad we found that article because that's actually a really interesting question. That was, by the way, in the New York Times in 2004. So it has been resolved for some time.
NPR is doing it right, and none of us are going to change our ways. This is going to be the gift debate.
Now we're going to sound like we're NPR snobs.
I go to the Carnegie Library.
Carnegie.
Jeff, we already sound like NPR snobs.
Oh, come on. I have no reason to say Carnegie or Carnegie, hardly ever. So I'm.
But Ant, you now live in Petaluma, where there is a Carnegie Free Library. Did you know that? You got to come downtown.
I have seen that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
That's an important part of history, which I would go into, but I don't dare.
No.
I remember when Steel Baron Andrew Carnegie decided to. Anyway, that is
he supported libraries across America.
He built free libraries everywhere.
Literacy in America.
Because he felt so guilty about his rapacious career as the creator of U.S. Steel that he felt he should do something to make it up for it. And he did. Just like Bill Gates. He did. Our free library is beautiful. It still says free public library in the face, but it's really too small to be a decent library. It's tiny. But it's now the Petaluma History Museum, which is perfectly sized for. So... Our show today.
There's only so much history.
There's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Chickens. Look at the chickens.
They don't even know.
I was about to say, are there chickens in the museum?
Definitely, undoubtedly. They don't even know where the name Petaluma came from. They have no idea. Yeah, they don't. No. They think it might be an Indian word, but they don't know. That's sad, isn't it? You go, it was like 100 years ago, 150 years ago, and they don't know. Nobody wrote it down. Our show today brought to you by, I'll tell you something. This advertiser loves us because not Jeff Jarvis. This advertiser loves us because, do you have it? Nareva. Because we send people to Nareva in droves. But you know what? This is an example of, we're a good network with good ads, and I do a good job. But honestly, if you don't have a great product, it doesn't matter. Nareva has not only a great product, but a product whose time is right. People are going back to the office, right? But we know that the way we meet is going to change. Distancing can have big implications for meeting room audio. You're going to probably have to change your room configuration, assure social distancing. But you still want good mic coverage when people are distanced in a meeting space, and that's why you need a Nareva microphone. Nareva audio is amazing. It's not a beamforming system. That's complicated. You need to get a technician in there. Plus, you're going to have to put marks on the table because people are going to have to sit where the beam forms. Tabletop systems, you can have lots of mics, but then they have to be sanitized between meetings. And again, they're going to require people change their behavior. They're going to have to sit in predetermined spots. They're going to have to face a certain way. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could get clear, reliable audio, but your team could act naturally, feel safe, be separated appropriately. One analyst called Nareva Audio the first socially distanced mic system. It's super cool. 4 patents on this technology. They call it microphone mist technology. It's designed specifically for distancing. The Nareva is a sound bar. It's a speaker plus microphones. You can mount it yourself on the wall, but it fills the room computationally with thousands of virtual microphones, and the audio will automatically adapt to any configuration. It doesn't matter where people are sitting, standing, facing. Every one of them is on mic. The HDL 300 system, this is their big system. It's the first microphone and speaker bar to be certified for meetings, large meeting spaces up to 15 feet by 28 feet. You could have an all-hands meeting with this thing. There it is, by the way, on the wall. Look how good it looks. You'll get full room coverage. People can be heard from anywhere in the room. You don't need to bring in technicians. You can install it yourself. It's easy to do. Nareva Console comes with every Nareva system. It puts device management into your hands, and on your terms you can adjust settings, install firmware updates, check device status, and more, all from a secure cloud-based platform. The console, by the way, comes with every Nareva audio system. And by the way, when you enroll your system, you're going to get an extra year of warranty absolutely free. Nareva audio products, they've won awards. The HDL 200, the medium-sized system, got the top new technology award at ISE 2020. But they have a full line of systems for small, medium, and large spaces. They use it at HubSpot. Jimmy Yan, who's HubSpot's principal collaboration engineer, said, "We were so impressed with the sound quality, the ease of install, and the ease of use of the HDL 300. They got the big boy. It was a no-brainer for us to adopt it." I think, it's exciting. We're getting to come back to work, but you still have to protect your employees. To learn more about how Nareva Audio is the simple, cost-effective way to let your teams distance in meetings and still act and converse naturally, visit Nareva.com, N-U-R-E-V-A, Nareva.com/twit. Nareva. See, when you have the right product for the right time, you're in the right place. Nareva, N-U-R-E-V-A.com/twit. We thank Nareva for their support of This Week in Google. Notice, see, they're smart. They're using the /twit. But I hope you will use it, too, so that they know you saw it here. That's important to them. It's important to us. Nareva.com/twit. And now back to the waffles.
Oh, caught her.
I can see everything, Stacy. I know what's going on. That looks really good. Is that an Eggo or is that homemade?
I think it's an Eggo.
Yeah.
We found that the Safeway signature brand is different, but also good. This is an Eggo. It's sweeter, I think.
Yeah. I have one of those Belgian wafflers that you flip over.
Of course you do.
Oh, yeah.
I have one of those, too.
It's so great.
I have a waffle maker. We use it often.
So great. I love waffles. Can't eat them, but I love them.
I like doing that in hotels. In the breakfast bar of the hotel. It feels like it's on a vacation. I get to make a waffle.
I remember when, some time ago,
Are you gonna remember something now?
Yes.
You're gonna go back in memory banks?
Not only that, I think I've already told this story, so I'm going to tell it again. Because not everybody listens to every show. We know that. I was in Tasmania in Australia, traveling with a group of photographers about 2009. Did I mention this? The hotel, I did mention this, had a bread maker in the room. And when they made up the room, they would replenish the bread maker with flour and water. And then you'd set the timer, and 7 a.m., instead of an alarm, the scent of fresh bread.
To bread.
It's the only place
You have talked about this. I want to go there.
I know. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
I don't know why
Please
more places don't do that. That's the best alarm ever.
Please and thank you.
And it's and then when they're making up the room, they just they take out the old bread and they put in fresh ingredients. All right, I don't know. I'm sorry. Many years ago.
How many years ago was
you
that?
You and I were peas in a pod. That's the problem. That's really the problem. German.
More like oil and water.
German. But with oil and water, you know what you get? A delicious salad dressing.
Salad dressing?
Yes.
Yeah, people love salad dressing, let me tell you.
Oil and vinegar, anyway. Google News showcase targeted by Germany Antitrust Chief Andreas Mundt. That's a great name. What are they mad about this time?
Google requires people to do things to be in have fast pages to be in the showcase. I'm not sure
you have to be amped or something like that.
No, not anymore. You don't. But
that's fair though, that the page should load quickly and shouldn't be paywalled.
Yeah, and so if you imagine if you're Google, you just say, okay, fine. Let's be Australia. Let's just get rid of the news. You guys are too much trouble. You're not worth it. Fine, we'll just get rid of it. That's what's going to happen at some point.
They're just going to check to see if Google offers unreasonable conditions to publishers involved and whether they hamper them using extra copyright introduced under a law passed last month.
Well, that's the other thing is you have the, ready for it? Leistungsschutzrecht.
Is that moral panic in German?
It's pronounced Carnegie.
Is there a pronouncer for Leistungsschutzrecht?
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah,
of course,
Leistungsschutzrecht. Am I right? Something like that.
Every time I try to say that, I have to wipe my mouth afterwards.
Beard gets a little drippy.
It's T. It's like ST.
Leistungs. 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 Schutz. SCHUTZ. Recht. RECHT.
You would think that Google would automatically correct me if I got even close.
Don't you just say pronounce? If you add the word pronounce.
Yeah, but I have to type that Leistungs thing.
Oh, I see.
First.
Leistungs, Leistungs. Isn't this exciting radio, people? This is just great.
Pronounce.
Spelling time.
Oh, yeah, look. There is such a thing. No, there isn't such a thing.
There isn't. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is they were saying that, if you so much as take a picture of me, you've stolen my soul and my value, and you owe me money, and it's the ancillary copyright regime, which existed in Germany. And now
it's an additional copyright. That's interesting. That's oh boy. Yeah, isn't that funny? There is no pronouncer for that.
I don't think that. Maybe no German wanted Google to suck out their soul or their privacy by pronouncing.
By the way, that's the problem. Is I'm using Google to find it. Yeah. Chris Ray, the
wait! I got it here. Hold on.
Leistungsschutzrecht.
Sounds just exactly like you say it.
Nice.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Nice.
Huh?
I was not assuming you were saying it wrong. I might add.
Oh, you're just trying to be nice now. That's all.
Should we do Google changelog? Let's do it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
The Google changelog.
There is a new Google undersea cable. Does that count for a changelog?
No, Jason. Sorry, nah.
No,
changelog has
I love undersea cables.
Jason did not put it in there. I was thinking if he did not specifically put it in there, he put it in the regular news. But I was thinking this should be in the changelog.
No.
This is to handle a data surge between the U.S., Brazil, and Argentina.
It's a possibly interesting story, but it's not a changelog.
It's totally an
changelog
interesting story.
Is what affects your life with Google in La Vida Google. This is a corporate story.
I would say it's a trend story, because think about data cables as the opening of a new shipping lane. So you're being able to see where goods and products are flowing. These are just digital goods and products.
And there's demand
for underwater mud landslide. You see that story this week?
No.
So it turns out there was a huge underwater mud landslide, and they only knew about it because it cut off a whole bunch of cables.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's
that
bad.
makes sense. Cables actually get cut often.
Yes.
Oh,
Bikash Kohli, who's the vice president of global networking, VP of global.
I have a telegeography submarine cable map.
I know. I want that map. I love that map. I had one.
Changes
at
every
one time.
year.
Yeah, that's the problem. My mind's out of date. Vice president of global networking at Google says, and this is a great quote: "Internet infrastructure is not in the cloud; it's under the ocean."
Oh, that is a good quote.
And it makes sense.
The sea.
Dines out on that all the time.
Yeah, we always think of it as the cloud, but honestly, there's no wires in the cloud. All those interconnects are either underground or under the ocean.
Or they're in a giant data center somewhere near you.
Yeah, but if they get somewhere, it's, yeah, right. 98% of international data travels on submarine cables draped across the bottom of the oceans and the seas. Actually, as it does with Google Doodles, according to CNET, Google pays homage to notable figures with its submarine cable names. This cable, named Fermina...
They named the cables?
Yeah. This is Fermina.
That's Josie, the cable?
Well, I don't think they got one named Josie, but maybe the Pussycats. I don't know. The fiber optic line is named after a Brazilian abolitionist. Her full name, which I will find out in a moment because it's in this article, is Maria Firmina dos Reis, a mixed-race author who wrote about the lives of Afro-Brazilian slaves in her 1859 novel Ursula. Google had a Google Doodle about her in 2019 on her birthday. There's a subsea cable called Grace Hopper.
Yep.
They're in alphabetical order, so Fermina will be followed by Grace Hopper. Earlier Google cables are named Curie, after Marie Curie. Dunant. I don't know who Dunant is.
Did he invent the donut? The Dunant?
The Dunant?
No, that was Duncan.
It's cousin to the Cruella.
Duncan Dunant. In 1858, Queen Victoria sent the first transatlantic telegram to James Buchanan, President of the United States, Morse code.
And New York Times at the time said that it was that New York went cable mad.
Oh, wow.
That people took off of work, that there were fireworks set off, that there were parades down Broadway. Honestly,
wow, well, can you imagine what a shift? Because before you'd have to put it on a boat and it would be days.
Yes, and then about, I don't know, a week or two later, the cable broke, as Stacey was saying.
Oh.
And so it was kind of like, oh, never mind, and they didn't get it back for ages.
It was, the rate of that 1858 cable was 1 word per minute. The Dunant undersea cable connects the U.S. and France and transmits, get this, 250 terabits per second, enough to transmit the entire Library of Congress 3 times a second. 250 terabits. It is a record-breaking cable. So that was D. Then there was Equiano, a subsea cable from Portugal to South Africa. These are all Google's putting these in.
Yeah,
those
Google,
are all Google
Facebook.
cables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened is about 10 years ago, all of these big Facebook, Google, all the big cloud companies, they were like, "Oh crap." We need to own this infrastructure. So they started investing in building and going in on their own subsea cables with like NTT Docomo and other companies who are doing them. And now they're doing so much traffic that they can actually afford, I don't know how many.
Do they charge?
Is Google doing this on their own or are they going
Yeah, no, this is 100% funded by Google.
Yeah,
but do they charge for interconnects or... I mean, they must, right? They must make money on it. So here's the map of 14 undersea cables from Google. Dunant, Equiano, Monet, Curie, Junior, Tanat, Indigo, SJC. So Equiano, which is interesting, is named after Olaudah Equiano, a Nigerian-born writer and abolitionist who was enslaved as a boy. So yet another abolitionist. So it's really amazing. That's got to be a huge expenditure.
It is. They're multi-billion-dollar things.
Are they really?
Cables.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get a
And
boat
you have
to
to keep
go
them.
and lay it, and then you have to keep it up.
gotta get a boat.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's not a rowboat. So this new undersea cable, Fermina, they didn't say the capacity, but it carries data on 12 pairs of fiber optic lines. That's not very much. I mean, it's a lot of data, but it's not a huge thick bundle. 12 pairs.
Yeah. No, the undersea cables. If you look at pictures of them, and you can Google that and find them, they're fat cables, but they're not like.
Most of it's to protect.
It's not like a culvert, like a giant culvert.
Most of it's the sheathing.
Yeah, I bet.
There's the sheathing, and they're sheathed actually in flexible stuff, and they get cut all the time. Right where, because they all come up on land in like huts on beaches. They're getting more secure now because there was a whole, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a spate of internet outages where people were attacking these huts, basically.
Probably thought it caused COVID, right?
No. But they did think that it would actually change the orbit of the Earth. So,
they contracted this out to a company called Subcon that designs and manufactures the cable in Newington, New Hampshire. They'll install it next summer. One unusual aspect of the cable, according to CNET, is it can be powered from either end, increasing reliability on more common designs that rely on power from both ends all the time. So they call it single end feed power. 18 kilovolts, which is a lot more than conventional designs. It'll be the longest cable to use that technology. So there you go. That's not even part of the changelog, but that was a very long bit on the cable.
You see, that's why it didn't fit in the changelog. It was a story.
It's more a story.
Interest.
No, I agree.
Changelog is a little thing you might want to know about your life with Google changing this week.
Everything you say.
Neither of you thought this was interesting a few minutes ago anyway.
No. I said it was interesting. It wasn't changelog. It was above changelog.
I did not say it was interesting. I just said it was new.
Do you say it's interesting now? And after all that, do you think it was interesting?
Yeah.
No.
I just said it was new. I didn't say it was interesting.
Android 12 Beta 2 comes out today. Finally, you're going to get the wallpaper-based Material You color themes. It didn't come with the first beta, public beta. So if you're in the public beta, update so you can get that Material You color themes. I am sad because my Pixel 4 phone, I have a Pixel 4 XL, I didn't upgrade to the 5, is delaminating. The back is coming off, and I'm worried that it might be the battery swelling, but I don't see any swelling. But it is starting to fall apart.
I didn't think about the battery.
Yeah.
I saw it Sunday in the studio.
Yeah, I was shocked.
It didn't look good.
No. But I want to keep it because I want to keep playing with Android 12.
All right.
Google has unveiled a $99 Pixel Bud A series. Upgraded connectivity, doesn't have the volume swipe gesture, but it is inexpensive. You want to try it again, Jeff?
This is my question. So here's the. Do I order before the show's over? Do you do a reverse Leo on me?
No.
Oh.
If they were 79, yes.
Do you need them to be wireless?
Yeah, actually, now that it's getting really hot, I'm wearing my headphones, and it's a little sweaty out there walking. Not that you want to.
So you do or don't want wireless?
I do want wireless. Yes, I do.
You got to try.
We all want him to have wireless.
So there are some really good, but they're more expensive than $99. There's
you don't want
really
me to have sweaty ears?
Wireless headphones. Sony just came out with a pair that's getting very good reviews.
That's like $280, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. Decent headphones are going to cost you more than $99.
I'm listening to books.
My Jabras. So
I agree.
The Jabra
Jabras are
65Ts are the old ones that I have had forever and ran through the washing machine and the dryer twice. They sound good. You can buy those now because they're like 3 years old, but they sound good on calls and they play very well.
They're like 200, I think, right?
No. The 65Ts now are like,
oh, because
how much
they're
are
old.
they, Jeff? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah,
they're good.
They're okay. I really liked the design and the sound of the Buds. I just got so mad at them because they didn't work. And I think they've said, there was a story somewhere, I think, in the rundown saying, this is how we fixed it. I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly they don't have the disconnect problems going through people with meaty heads.
Hey, now you're calling me, my head is meaty?
Yeah.
I'm irascible, and I'm an old fart who tells stories.
Irascible
and I have a meaty head. This is what makes me irascible, people.
His lower third continues to grow, folks.
I have ordered. I ordered a pair of Scott Wilkinson recommended Sennheiser, but they're wired headphones, the IE 300 earbuds. And
how much were those?
They were $300.
Man, I love
really
Sennheiser.
expensive, but they sound so good. I've ordered these. They're the new wireless. They're $250 though, the Momentum 2s, and I hear very good things. But wait till I get them, and I'll let you know, because it's a big investment. It's expensive, but
if you think about how much, this is my argument for paying a lot for a mattress, but if you think about how much you're on the phone and dealing with calls or listening.
Yeah. But I have to say, twice bitten, third time shy. I'm not going to buy the Pixel Buds. The Samsung Galaxy Buds are great. Florence Ion still uses them. I still use mine. Those are pretty old too. I bet you can get those cheap. According to Google, they fixed the audio cutouts, which was the thing that bothered you, right? How do they do this?
Yeah, oh boy, did it.
Yeah.
Did they say anything about how?
Yes.
What
they say the Pixel Buds don't. The new ones, the A series, don't do it. They tried to fix it in software, but the problem is clearly hardware. So 9 to 5 Google asked them. Google said one key change was made to avoid the problem where the original Pixel Buds would connect one earbud to the phone and then relay the signal from the first earbud to the other through your meaty head. The A series connects both to the phone. Doy. So the problem was this transmission through your head wasn't working.
But why was it worse when I was outside and walking? That's what never made any sense to me.
Maybe you're breathing more? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, because each pairs separately, I think everybody else does it this way, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
you don't have that problem.
Bad.
I remember Google was kind of making a big deal about the fact that, we'd send it through your head. Okay.
It's a bad idea, Google.
Bad idea, Google. Stadia is coming to Chromecast with Google TV, the newest Chromecast, and select Android TV devices June 23rd. So originally it was for one particular Chromecast, but now you can do it with a new. And it was weird because they released a new Chromecast, the one with Google TV, and they said, but Stadia doesn't work on it. Well, good news, it does or will soon. So you can, and I have that. It's actually it's really great. It's like $25. I mean, it's nothing, or $30. I really like it. Stadia will also become available on a handful of Android TV and Google TV devices, including Walmart's $25 ONN dongle, the Hisense Android smart TVs, NVIDIA Shield TV, yes, Shield TV Pro, that's the one I have, Philips, a number of Philips OLEDs and regular TVs, if you've got Android TV, and the Xiaomi Mi Box 3 and 4. That's good. I like Stadia a lot. I think you still need to get the Stadia controller, really, but now at least you can maybe do it on a device you already have.
If you need a Stadia controller, give me a holler.
Really?
I have one that I'm not using.
You never use it?
It's still sitting down there in front of the television.
Oh, that's a bummer. By the way, that's not the only update to the Google Chromecast with Google TV. They're improving Bluetooth latency. In fact, the update is big. It's 83 megabytes. It's a minor software update, but that sounds pretty major to me. This is coming out June 23rd. Improvements on Bluetooth latency for speakers and headphones. Apparently there was some stuttering, and latency is, of course, terrible and something like that because the lip sync is so important. Advanced video settings don't reset after reboots on some TVs, and additional bug fixes and performance improvements. Download the update on your Chromecast with Google TV. Every month, Pixel does not only a security update, but a feature drop. The June feature drop includes, you'll like this, an astrophotography video and that Photos Locked folder that Google talked about at Google I/O.
I didn't have much to say about the Photos Lock folder, but the this is actually compelling to me compared to the photograph that it creates, because the photograph is more of a simulation. It's not necessarily, but from a video standpoint, I think it would look pretty
It's going to be a time lapse. So if you wanted to get an eclipse or sunrise or sunset to sunrise or something like that, you'll be able to do a time lapse, which is really cool. And these pixel drops are free. They just, it's basically adding to the features of your phone. Astrophotography will now include night sight time-lapse video. You'll obviously need a tripod or something steady to put the phone on. And you'll need a Pixel 4 or newer with a night sight clip automatically generated. 3 new Pride wallpapers. Pride-themed ringtones. I'm proud. A notification sound from LGBTQ+ artists and YouTube creators And the new Google Assistant can now pick up or decline calls. When your phone is ringing, but you can't reach it, you can answer or reject a call with Assistant. You say, hey, you know who, answer call, or hey, you know who, reject call. You can shout at the phone.
Take that.
Yeah, love that. After copying text, Gboard, the Google keyboard, will surface key snippets, phone numbers, email addresses, and URLs with custom icons or pills in the suggestion strip. So that's kind of neat. If you copy the text, you can kind of see it. It's a little bit of a small screenshot, but you can kind of see it here in this 9 to 5 Google article. See these little pills right above the keyboard? It said, if you copied that or you got that message, oh, this was a phone number, or oh, this was an email address. So that's kind of neat. I like that. There is now car crash detection in the personal safety app. I'm sorry, there has been. It's now coming. It's already been in the UK, Australia, and US. It's now coming to Spain, Ireland, and Singapore. Somebody spent some time at Google and coded a new feature to digital well-being to detect when you're walking and looking at your phone. The phone will... It's called Heads Up.
That's surveillance.
The phone will periodically remind you, hey, look where you're going. Pretend it's a city.
I love that idea. I love that.
I love that. That's part of the Heads Up feature.
Chasey, you're on mute.
I know. I just asked. I asked, does it do it in Fran Lebowitz's voice?
Pretend it's a city. Well, that'd be great. That'd be so great. I love that. Weirdly, this is really not. This is a changelog in the sense that it's something that's going away. Google, which has already given up on Cardboard and the Dream, whatever that was, 3D viewer and all that stuff, is now Daydream. That's it. Is now pulling the plug on the Measure app.
I've used it twice.
Yeah, but
ever.
You could just
I've
leave
used it a couple times, but it's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was useful when I needed it. Most of the time, I just grabbed the tape measure that's right there.
So, yeah, but this way you could be looking at a banana on your desk and point the phone at it and know that it's 7.5 inches. I think that's useful. Yeah.
I think it's so we talked about this a little in the show. I think it's weird because Google's backing off AR when everybody else is really investing in it.
Yes, it's so strange. We talked about that on Windows Weekly today. Apple's like all in on AR all of a sudden, and both Microsoft and Google are just kind of, it was fun, but we don't need to do it anymore.
Microsoft is actually investing in AR.
HoloLens, yeah, but what we were talking about is, and you may not remember this, you'd have to be following Windows very closely, but one of the Windows updates about 2 years ago was called the Creators Update, and they showed how you could get this 3D objects, and it was easy to capture them, and you could put it in 3D Paint, and they killed 3D Paint a couple of months ago, and a lot of those features have disappeared. And I think Microsoft thought everybody be using 3D. And no, I mean, the HoloLens is real, and it's being used in a variety of applications, but it's not like a home
Apple
thing.
Focuses more on the creator than Microsoft does, and it seems like it's always been that way. So they're going to continue to push this, especially on the video standpoint, with the way they handle XDR displays and stuff like that.
I think the difference is between an industrial use and a consumer use. And Microsoft's very much gone to the industrial uses of HoloLens. Google seems to have given up completely, and Apple's
that's
very
because
much,
there are buyers.
Well, Google's got bigger fish to fry with other revenue.
Yeah, yeah. And then Apple's very much all in on it, but they have a phone. So Microsoft doesn't have a phone. It's kind of hard to do consumer grade AR without some sort of mobile device. HoloLens is what, thousands of dollars.
Wait, no, they bought Nokia.
Yeah.
Say that with a straight face.
Can't even say that without laughing.
I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
So hard.
There was a phone or something, wasn't there? Whatever happened to that?
Yeah, they had the Lumia line. And I know of one person shooting that still uses that Lumia.
It was a great camera. It was superseded by the iPhone and the Pixel, but it was, for its time, the best camera.
Yeah, for its time, it was pretty high. Yeah. It's like 40, I think it was
41 megapixels, yeah. The Nest Hub browser. There's 3 words that don't go together. I've never used the browser on my Nest Hub, but apparently it's gotten better.
I've never used a browser on it. What?
I know.
Is it just like when you ask G for something and it shows it to you?
There's actually a keyboard pops up and you could type in searches and...
What?
Yeah, I know.
Actually, who is that targeted for? Is it targeted for the grandkids?
Why would the grandkids use it?
They probably have phones.
I think about my mom. She has one of these devices. I don't know which one it is. And there's every now and then, not our kids, but little kids are over there visiting her, and they like to talk to Google. And I don't know, maybe they get a kick out of being over there to tap the screen and pull some stuff up that they're looking for based on some weird
I pulled the keyboard to search for YouTube videos when Google just would not give me what I was asking for.
I've done that. Right.
Yeah.
I've done that. But apparently you can also, there was a browser. Now it's a little bit better, and maybe that'll make it more usable.
Okay. You know that room you never go in? We painted it.
It's really nice now. It's really nice now. And that's the Google changelog. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think there's a rule here.
I'm sorry, Leo. Are you done? Are you experiencing the Stacey hunger pains?
Is that a hint?
I just got tired all of a sudden.
No, that's exactly how I feel sometimes. I'm like, oh.
No, I'm actually looking at stories to see which one.
The more stories there are in the rundown, the fewer we do. It's an inverse proportion.
It's a direct inverse proportion. So I've left behind many a story, and I probably should go through all of these. Oh my God, there's page after page. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it. Jason Howell doing a yeoman's job of putting stuff together. Ohio is suing Google, wants to declare it a public
this
utility.
Is dumb. Let's not talk about it. No, common carrier doesn't apply to Google.
You saved me. Thank you. Good.
This is a stupid story. Let's not.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's a stupid idea, but they're doing it. It's your assertion that the courts will laugh them out of the building.
Well, but on what basis?
We can't even. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, it was a question. On what basis?
We haven't even been able to establish in the court system that broadband companies are common carriers.
Yeah.
So I don't see how you could say that Google isn't anything except an information service.
I know. It's pretty hard to believe. Google's response: Ohioans simply don't want the government to run Google like a gas or electric company. This lawsuit has no basis in fact or law, and we'll defend ourselves against it in court. So
I would love it if they hired the same lawyers that AT&T and Verizon hired. Or actually, it was Verizon that sued for the net neutrality.
Because they did, in fact, go through this, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Verizon did. Verizon and I think it was T-Mo sued over the first net neutrality order that Google called for. And Google's talking points are the exact same talking points that AT&T and
T-Mo. I like it how you have a pet name for them. I like that.
Well, I have pet names for everybody.
This is a bizarre story. We talked about this on Windows Weekly. All the major browsers are joining forces to make extensions compatible cross-browser. I use extensions. Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge all will be able to use the same. Well, if it's we'll see, but this is a W3C consortium with the goal of making it easier for developers to write extensions because there'll be a shared standard, a common browser extension standard. That would be very interesting. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So if you were an Amazon shareholder, would you be upset at the idea that Jeff Bezos is going up into space?
Yes. I think this must be why he retired. Because otherwise the board board would say, I'm sorry, you're running the company. You ain't going up in a spaceship.
Have you lost your damn mind?
Yeah.
So Bezos has announced he's going to be a passenger in the thing is, it's not the 50th flight. It's the very first manned flight.
It's like getting the first Pixel Buds. It's a mistake. You want to wait.
He and his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their first manned flight. I don't know how risky this is. There's always a risk when you strap a million tons of high explosive to your butt and launch yourself into space.
And then land with a parachute.
This is scheduled for July 20th out of West Texas, because East Texas was busy suing them. No, joke. He posted this on Instagram. He said he'll be one of the inaugural passengers on the New Shepard spacecraft. He and his brother Mark will be on board. I guess, it's a good move if he makes it, because, it asserts his, belief in the safety of what they're doing. He, on his Instagram post, he says, maybe we could play the audio here. Let's play Mr. Bezos.
Because it's a thing I've wanted to do all my life. It's an adventure. It's a big deal for me. I invited my brother to come on this first flight because we're close friends. And he wants you to come with me. Would you? Are you serious?
Damn.
Yeah. I think it would be meaningful. Have my brother there.
Only if you take off the dumb hat.
Him to say that he was going to be on the first flight, and then when he
his brother's a firefighter. That's cool.
Just awestruck.
Seriously? If you're willing, if you want to.
God.
Yeah.
What a remarkable opportunity, not only to have this adventure, but to be able to do it with
I'd say yes.
My best friend.
Yeah.
You would?
Oh, that's really sweet.
What would Lisa say if you said you wanted to go out?
She would let me. But she'd make sure my will was completed before I did it.
She would have all the red tape squared away.
She'd make sure I made sure all the insurance was in her name and so forth. But it's risky. And I think if he were still CEO, the board would say no.
Oh, yeah. No,
right.
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah. That is definitely beyond. They would have to. You can't send your CEO.
No bungee jumping.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah,
most contracts have provisions like that.
Yeah, they have prohibitions against certain, like skydiving, that sort of thing.
Yeah. New Shepard has made 15 uncrewed test flights, so it survived all 15. Of course, as the Wall Street Journal points out, most commercial aircraft don't carry passengers before undergoing an intensive series of hundreds of piloted flights. Okay. Yeah, it's a little scary, but you know what? Good for him. He's gutsy.
Well, something equally scary I put in the rundown here.
Yes.
Banana peel bacon.
Ooh.
The new thing on TikTok.
Oh, of course it's on TikTok.
Of course it is. Hey, watch it, Ant. There's a new musical called In the Heights out. I could be pulling up things
That's
from that.
That is an old musical, Jeff.
It's an old musical, but it's now a movie. Yes, but it's now a movie. That's what's new. Yeah. Banana peel bacon. So this is the Washington Post. We made it, and we're not convinced. Ew.
Yeah, I say ew.
Ew. The rubbery casings have long been used in cooking in India, sometimes in curries. There's a South Indian stir fry called toran. All right, I'm willing to try it.
You can try it? All right.
I'm willing to try it. So, how does it work? It's the origins of the dish, writes the Post, are murky. A 2019 recipe for a fakin, like a steakum, but a fakin, posted on Lifehacker calls for frying the peels first, then glazing them. But a popular and much cited iteration making the rounds now comes from Charles Hunter III, a personal chef and food blogger at the Salted Table. He took his inspiration from a video posted by vegan TikTok star Tabitha Brown. Her carrot bacon. Now, see, carrot bacon I could dig. That makes sense. It was a viral hit. She didn't like the banana version she attempted. Her verdict, quote, "It ain't right in my spirit," end quote. Okay. He ditched her air frying method, experimented a bit. Here's how he does it. You marinate the peels in a mixture that mimics the flavor of bacon with liquid smoke and smoked paprika, and then you crisp them in the pan.
Why not just have bacon?
Well,
thank you.
Because it's vegan, I guess.
It's vegan, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe that. All right. Maybe that. All right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Stacy, would you ever try it?
I don't think I want to eat a banana peel.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And honey, it's my birthday. My birthday. It's my birthday. My birthday. Ooh, it's my birthday. Oh.
I certainly wouldn't eat banana peel on my birthday.
Anywho, because it's my birthday, I said to myself, she said, girl, what is going on this day? I said, girl, it's my birthday. I want to try something that I had seen, but I want to try it my way. I want a good old BLT. Y'all know I'm a big fan of the TTLA, but I've been trying not to eat as much processed food lately.
Oh, there we go. I'm going to process banana peels.
So y'all been seeing the folk making bacon out of a banana peel. Now, when I had first seen it, I got.
All right, I had enough. I'm sorry. I don't know. Have you had enough? You want to?
Yep.
This is longer than I thought.
TikTok length thing. It was gonna
end. But it's 22 minutes. So.
Oh no!
This is like those recipe blogs where you're like, and here's the story of how it came by the recipe.
Oh God, it's too much.
Scrolling, and ingredients here.
This is why TikTok's great. It's a minute, right? You can't be longer.
Right.
That's great. It shouldn't be long. Nothing should be longer than a minute. Do you get 2 minutes?
Even so.
I don't know. I feel like some of them feel a lot longer than a minute. Okay, then they're just bad.
We got a whole bunch of TikTok stories. I'm just going to skip them. I'm just going to skip right through them. The feds got the money for the Colonial ransomware attack. We're not sure how. There is a warrant. It looks like, I'm guessing, either one of two things. They convinced somebody who knew the password to the Bitcoin wallet to give it to them, or, and I suspect this is what really happened, the ransomware people had set up what's called a custodial wallet with an exchange so they could buy money with the Bitcoin, and the exchange got the subpoena and handed over the ransomware. But anyway, the feds recovered $2 million. Bet they keep it, though, don't you think? They don't give it back to Colonial. They just go, yeah, we confiscated it. Colonial CEO said that the password was very complicated. No word about. Funny. Yeah, I don't know what he thinks is complicated.
When all of that went down,
he says it was not a Colonial 123 type password.
Okay, that's a big difference from that to very complicated.
Yeah.
When all of this stuff went down, I was on vacation. And I'm sorry the garbage truck shows up right now.
Oh, I thought you were cleaning the house. There was a little vacuuming going on there. It's all right. He's
any day now.
No. Yeah, that's all right. We like to hear it.
It's life.
But yeah, this happened during my vacation. And when I was back in South Carolina visiting my mother. And I really wasn't paying too much attention to the news other than the show. And went to go somewhere to, go take some pictures, and I stopped to get some gasoline, and it was this long line. I'm like, what the heck is happening? And there was no gas anywhere near my mom's place. And it took me,
because
I want to say it took about 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
About 3 days to get gasoline.
Wow.
No gas. So I pretty much stayed on the couch.
Yeah, that's a little scary. You forget how reliant we are on that.
Oh.
Yeah. Final story, then we're going to take a break and get your picks of the week, but because Stacy's very excited about her pick of the week this week.
Mm-hmm. Look at
her. For those of you on audio,
it looked like an empty chair. Yeah. She's getting it. She's getting it. It's in a big
she's
box.
Getting it.
All right.
Okay.
But last
My
story.
pick of the week came.
Yay. Oh, see, that's what I've been delaying for. El Salvador, which used to have its currency, the U.S. dollar. They didn't. It's just like lazy. We don't want to make up a currency. We'll just use yours if that's all right. They have now become the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender.
Good for them.
What could possibly go wrong there? They voted by a supermajority in favor of the Bitcoin law. The price of Bitcoin went up as a result. Oh, rats.
It was only about a 5% uptick, so not that
Prices can now be shown in Bitcoin. Taxes can be paid with Bitcoin. And exchanges in Bitcoin will not be subject to capital gains tax. Speaking of which, did you see how much tax the top billionaires
get me started on this story.
No, I have a new toy. I want to show everyone.
Okay. It's not a tech story, except it's a lot of tech billionaires.
That story is clickbait of the worst.
Oh, is it?
Very disappointing.
Oh, they paid more tax than that?
Okay, no, I have a new
Bezos
toy.
paid $1 billion in taxes. He paid $1 billion in taxes, and they're
but it wasn't his income tax. It was.
No, he paid $1 billion in personal tax.
So it's wrong.
They just found a year or two when he didn't.
Oh.
And no, they're just trying to argue. They come up with a whole new structure for taxes, saying that these guys should be taxed on the growth in wealth. Well, that's ridiculous, because what happens when it goes down the next year?
Right.
And what if you own a farm?
Well, that's what, if you're rich, usually your tax bill is not your income. It's your income tax is like anybody else's, but the capital gains tax is much lower, and a lot of what rich people make is capital gains, not income, not straight income. So, and yeah, I don't want to get in that. So let's take a break, and when we come back, it's time for Stacy's.
We're gonna torture Stacy and take as long as we can to get to it.
Well, this ad is going to be long. You know why? Because it's for my favorite sponsor, Audible. Well, I love them all equally, but I am a big Audible fan. I've been an Audible member since 2000, 21 years. Forget about last summer. We kind of missed last summer, but this summer, we're going to get some beach towels. We're going to stock the cooler. We're going to escape. We're going to the beach, celebrate the best season of the year like never before with great stories and programs from Audible. Now's the absolute best time to do it, because Prime members, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can save 53% off your first 4 months. I was an Audible member before Prime existed, before Amazon existed. But if you, for some reason, after all my exhortations, have not yet started to listen to audio content from Audible, you better get doing. You better go. There's Andy Weir's Hail Mary. I love that. That's right on the front, right in the middle. That is such a great audiobook from Audible. Audible has it all, not just an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, tons of binge-worthy podcasts, exclusive originals, all available to download or stream. As an Audible member, you get to choose a title a month, like the latest bestseller or the hottest new release. It's yours to keep forever. But here's the best part. You also get full access to Audible's streaming library. That's the Plus catalog. So you never run out of great audio content. Discover your next podcast obsession. Check that audiobook off your bucket list. Get lost in a world of original content from celebrity creators, best-selling authors, leading experts. There's Matthew McConaughey's new audiobook. I just finished the Barack Obama audiobook. Covers his first term in office and his early life, and it's amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that audiobook. So good. But that's the problem. There's so many wonderful audiobooks. By the way, Barack reads his audiobook, so it really feels like you're there in the Oval Office with him. It's really neat. What's great is with Audible Plus, you can stream all you want as much as you want. So even if you've finished your audiobook, your title a month, you've got plenty more to listen to. Audible's the perfect companion for summer, because no matter where you're going, no matter what you're doing, you'll always have just the right thing to listen to at your fingertips. Perfect for road trips, lazy days, beach days, long bike rides, barbecuing in the backyard. I honestly, I listen to Audible while I'm gaming, because I want to make sure that that's not completely wasted time. I got through an entire 26-hour audiobook just the other day, playing it while I'm listening, playing Valheim while I'm listening to The Wheel of Time. The first, somebody in the Discord recommended, said, "You've never listened to The Wheel of Time series from Robert Jordan?" I said, "No." So this is
it's like a 28-hour
29 hours and 57 minutes. Let's call it 30 hours. But that's the thing. I did it listening to playing Valheim, so it was great.
Okay.
And by the way, there's 15 of them, so I'm just getting started. I've just started the new one.
Some of them are longer. Most of them are longer.
They're long, I know, but I love it because it's immersive. So this is an interesting thing. Some people like longer audiobooks because you get immersed and you become a part of it. Sometimes people like short stories. I mix it up. I'll listen to nonfiction than fiction. I also like the great courses. I love the music stuff they do. There's so much great stuff on Audible. Broadway shows. It's just fantastic. Look, I don't know how to convince you. Become an Audible member. If you're an Amazon Prime member, there's no better time to do it. Save 53% on 4 months of Audible. $6.95 a month. If you're not an Amazon Prime member, well, go to Amazon and sign up so you can get this deal, right? And so much more. Get more out of summer with Audible. Take advantage of this incredible limited time offer. Go to audible.com/twig. And if you're listening after the deal has expired and you're a new member, try Audible Plus for 30 days with the free trial. That'll be there too. Audible.com/twig. Or text twig to 500-500. Text TWIG to 500-500. You'll get a link. You can put it on your phone. The app is great. I live in the Audible app. In fact, I love it because I have CarPlay in my car. I get in the car. My book starts up the minute I'm in the car driving home. I listen all the time to Audible. Audible.com, AUDIBLE.com/twig. Thank you, Audible, for more than 2 decades of fantastic content and for supporting Twig.
I'm about to finish, what do they call it, part 4 of 5 parts of my German, and boy, am I learning how stupid I am.
Which German? Are you doing the Pimsleur? Which one are you doing?
Pimsleur, yeah.
That was your tip, was that this is a great way to get Pimsleur for a lot less through Audible. I've got to learn Spanish. We're going to Mexico in October, and I've just got to learn Spanish.
Pimsleur is great, because Pimsleur also is about the pronunciation, so you're going to sound better.
Silently think of the answer to the question asked. You need to speak the answer out loud to set up a circuit of the language you are learning to speak.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's the key.
But so you listen, but you speak along with it or something?
I do it in the car mainly, or walking, I kind of mumble it.
All right, I'm going to do. I have 2 credits from Audible. I'm going to do it right now.
The Pimsleur Spanish is very good. I'm just too dumb.
Well,
I really enjoyed the visual of Jeff running around with his sweaty earbuds or sweaty earbuds, yelling at people in German.
That would be funny. Yeah, you know what? That's a good deal. I've got the credits. I'm going to do it. Put them both in my cart. That gets me through 15 lessons.
You do a half an hour a day. That's the deal. And then they would say, don't
do more. And probably
no
do
más.
No más.
Solamente. Oh man, I can't.
Una hora.
Wow.
Una hora?
No.
Demi hora?
No.
Demi hora? Demi hora.
No entiendo.
No entiendo. Stacy, your thing of the week.
Okay.
Here we go. Box
Ready?
Opening. Yes.
Box
Look at her
opening.
face. Look at her face. She's just glowing with excitement. Oh, Nanoleaf.
Today's present is the Nanoleaf Elements.
It's made out of wood?
Hold up. Oh, dang it. I didn't open this part. So here, hold on.
So we know the Nanoleaf. We've talked about it before. Micah has them in his house. They're what is that? Octagonal? What's the shape of that?
This is a hexagon.
Hexagon. 6. Okay.
It is a hexagon, and it is made of faux wood, and it looks really nice. And when it's lit up, and
this is great
lit up,
because you don't look like you've got plastic things on your wall.
Exactly. You've got these pretty things on your wall, and they glow very nicely. They only glow in the whites, and they are very expensive. So the starter packs comes with 7 and the controller. And let me grab the controller.
See, this is why I never had the Nanoleafs, because I don't want plastic pieces on my wall. But if it's wood, that might be kind of nice. And you can make a shape with them, right?
Yep.
What do you do? What shape? Here comes Stacy.
She's like, where are you going?
She sounds like Fibber McGee's closet. What are you doing? There you go.
All right, so here's the controller that you plug in. I'm going to show you everything.
Oh, it looks like another tile.
Yeah, it's got the faux wood too. I just turned it on. You can't. My light is too bright.
Yeah, you can't
for you to see that.
So it's not a bright light; it's a glow.
So each panel gives out 22 lumens, which is not really enough to give you.
You couldn't read by it, but it's good for watching TV or.
Yeah, ambiance. I'm using it for art. I have a giant wall. It's 11 feet long by that tall. And so what I've got is I got the starter pack, which is $300, so $299.99.
Okay.
This is not cheap. And that's 7 panels, which is a good size, but I have 15 of the older panels. And that's a really good size that gives you a lot of variety. Each expansion pack is going to be $99, and you only get
that's
3.
not bad. Oh, but you only get 3.
Leo's like, that's fun.
Oh.
So So what they did is they've got these will like work with sound like the other Nano Leafs.
Oh, so it like pulses to your music?
Your music, clapping, your voice. I could, once I get these up, I'll show you. I can show you a demo in a couple weeks. But the other
and it's about how big is that? About 8 inches, something like that.
This is 8 by 9.
8 by 9. Okay.
Let me give you
8 by 9 hexagon.
Head. Oh, here it is glowing. Now
it is. You can see it. Yeah, it's a nice warm glow.
It's nice. And the color temperature ranges from 400, which is pretty cool, all the way to like this really warm ember thing. This is the cool light. Okay. So in the back mount, it mounts on your wall using,
Oh, it's still plastic, isn't it? It's just wood grain.
Yeah, it's faux wood.
Yeah.
Oh. So you mount it on your wall. This is the command tape from 3N. What's nice about this is when you want to take it off your wall, you pull this off.
Oh, nice.
And then you can pull your tape off this way.
Right.
So it used to be that you had the tape kind of around the edges here.
Yeah.
And that was kind of gimpy looking.
And it
these
doesn't
are very classic.
peel off your wallpaper or your... nobody has wallpaper.
Theoretically, when I have taken these off before, not these particular ones, but they have taken some of my wall texture with them.
Okay.
I just scared my dog. So I purchased these, and then I purchased an additional 5 expansion packs, and I'm going to make a 21 because that is the maximum number I can stick on the power supply that they sent you.
So 21's the max.
Well, you can buy a bigger power supply if you want more panels.
So if you want, you can spend thousands of dollars.
Yes, they will take your money.
And it works. It works with HomeKit.
Oh yes, this is the good part, y'all. I forgot about this. Okay, works with HomeKit, Google, Amazon, and it will act as a thread border router when Matter comes out.
No.
Yeah. Okay, you're being sarcastic.
That's very cool. That's very cool. No, I'm sure that's wonderful. If I knew what it meant, I'd be really excited.
So, when you have Matter, the what used to be Project Connected Home over IP Project Chip, Matter is going to support Wi-Fi and Thread. And so Thread is for all of your like sensor nodes because it's low power, it goes directly to the internet, it's mesh network. But you're going to have some things that control those Thread devices that also speak Wi-Fi. Right now, you've got like a HomeKit, a HomePod Mini. We don't know if the Google stuff is actually going to act as that bridge basically between Wi-Fi and Thread. So right now, we don't know what devices will act as that, but these definitely will. So that's why it's exciting.
Do you feel it's lovely? It's like really a beautiful thing that you have on your wall there.
Okay, so I do. Like these are way prettier than the other ones. I liked the other ones and we use them as art. The reason I'm buying this is because I can spend $800 on these and build something that is pretty, that is not a gallery wall and is not fancy expensive paintings, which would cost me way more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly less expensive than paintings. And yeah, okay. So, but it's like abstract shape just on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That glows and it gives light patterns. Like you can set it for...
It glows! It glows!
No, it's really like, it's very... I'll show you later.
Yeah, we saw your old Nano Leafs. I remember you took us downstairs to look at those.
Yeah.
So
I'll show you this when I get this up.
I'm just not hip enough for this, I think.
That looks good.
Look at that. See, think how nice that is.
It's flickering with a fire. Yeah.
And they have this. I like the cool flickers actually. Like this is one of my favorite patterns right here. Not that one.
It's kind of the future. I feel like I'd be living in the future if I had these.
It feels like if IKEA married a Philips Hue, this is what they would make.
Yeah. Oh, it looks just like a firefly.
Okay, that's just cheesy.
My neck of the woods now, cicadas.
Oh, are you getting the cicadas now?
I was in Princeton yesterday. They were thick. I'm 25 miles north. Nothing.
So is it a mating season? This is the season when they breed.
Oh yeah. Well, not season. It's every 17 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like only. Wow. So this is it. This is the year they breed. Is that true all over the world or just in New Jersey?
Well, there's some 13-year cicadas. There's some 17-year cicadas.
So weird.
Yeah.
That's just a weird thing.
They're just thick.
Yeah.
Somebody said, actually, its professors come out to finish their books and have sex once every 17 years also.
But they don't make that annoying sound, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, they do, actually. We drone on. Yeah.
Nanoleaf element, nanoleaf.me, if you want to find out more. Now in wood grain. Is it all the same kind of wood, or can you get birch, cherry, and...
It is all the same. This is why I feel like it's IKEA, because it's a very Scandinavian choice.
It's a birchy kind of color, yeah.
It's a blonde wood. And the starter pack has 7, and the expansion packs have 3.
Yes. Thank you, Stacy. Mr. Jeff Jarvis, your number of the week.
All right, I'm going to do 2 real quick. One is to mention very quickly the year 1478. That was when Oxford University. I'm going to stop. I remember 1478.
Few centuries ago.
Yeah, it was the beginnings of printing at Oxford University.
Wow.
And they just announced they are shutting off their presses.
Oh, no. The Oxford University Press?
Well, the press stays alive, but they're not going to print.
Oh.
Themselves. They're going to job it out.
Oh, okay. So they were actually printing their own books.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Or some good portion of them, yes.
Yeah, I had quite a few Oxford University Press books.
Oh, so do I. They're a fortune, yes.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Speaking of printing then... we have very much excitement, the Lego typewriter, line 196 there.
What is a Lego typewriter?
It's a typewriter you can make. It doesn't really work, but it's out 2,079 pieces, since this is supposed to be a number here.
Lord, this cookie, boy, that was a big cookie banner. This is made out of Lego?
Yeah. 279 pieces.
All the custom Lego pieces? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would just love to have the key top Lego pieces.
That's pretty cool looking. That's a classic manual typewriter. Oh yeah, there's the letters. That's neat.
Yeah.
QWERTY. That's nice.
I don't think this is cool. Oh, it's so tiny. Look at it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cute.
Oh, it's so cute. It's sitting.
Jeff, you want me to send you my tiny typewriter?
Is that Mr. Lego? Oh, here's building it. That's cute. Oh, you have a tiny typewriter? Oh, look! The keys move. Oh my God!
And if there was paper in here, it.
Oh, it works.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you can really type. You'd think you'd break it if you really typed, but still, that's cool. That is a hipster right there. Right there. Look at that.
I have a typewriter planter.
What the hell is that? Is there a plan?
That's pretty cool.
Looks like something bad happened.
It really does. It looks like one of those old adding machines, is it?
You may want to know that the same person was the inspiration for the first successful typewriter and for the linotype. I've been researching this. James O. Clephane was a stenographer to Abraham Lincoln, and he wanted a typewriter, and the guy who invented it, Scholes, agreed to send him one, and he'd try it out, and he'd bang the hell out of them and send back and say, here's all the problems with it. He did that 7 times, drove the inventor insane, but that was the first sellable typewriter with Remington. And then he met Ottmar Mergenthaler, and he was the buddy who kept that process going and leading to the linotype. So you can thank for the typewriter James O. Clephane. Wake up, come on.
What?
Come on.
Yes.
Say what now? Huh?
Wow, I'm sad about Oxford University Press. That's sad. Let's do an ant thing. Ant Pruitt. What do you got?
Selfies are pretty daggum popular, even though I can't stand them. I'd much rather you have a self-portrait. There was a story over on Reddit of what could possibly be the first selfie from back in 1952-ish. Gentleman was out in Korea with this camera. He's trying to figure out, okay, I need to go ahead and use this film up, and decided to just snap a cool photograph.
And then he
himself.
wrote on the back, there was no one around to take the last shot on the camera. So I held it up in front of me, outstretched arms, and snapped the
shutter wrong.
Shutter. Wow.
But it's a pretty cool shot, though.
It is a selfie. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Pretty good.
It's old school cool for sure.
Yeah. It was on Reddit, and I want to say somebody else wrote about it. Headtopics.com, they actually wrote a little bit more about it. I just thought it was pretty cool.
That's really
And then lastly, well, no, not lastly. Another one is, this is for our editor, Mr. Kevin, not the editor of this show, but Mr. Kevin edits a lot of shows at Twit.
And he's a
shark.
He loves the shark. Shark Week, you can't even get him out of bed. He just loves.
Nope, you can't.
Loves the shark.
Well, Baby Shark, I found out about this through one of my friends. He's been working with this team of developers, and they've come up with their own cryptocurrency.
Oh.
Baby Shark token. And it's pretty funny. I laughed at him, but I've been talking to him more, and they've actually been doing some pretty nice work in trying to actually raise money to help do some conservation stuff. They've raised, I want to say, about $3,000 at one point, and gave it to the University of Miami for some of their aquatic stuff down there in shark conservation. And then they raised another $10,000.
Wow.
For the Gilly Shark Preserve, I believe is what it's called. And it's fully documented, and they sent them the money, and they just want to continue to keep doing stuff like that to help preserve our oceans and actually help tell people to, hey, start cleaning up the land too, because there's a lot of parks out here that are just flat out filthy, and it's because of us humans who are just continuing to leave a bunch of trash out. And so they're just trying to raise some money to help get that stuff cleaned up around the world.
That's
I just wanted to give them a shout. It's pretty good
use
stuff.
for cryptocurrency. The Baby Shark token at babysharktoken.com helped clean up the
What's
planet.
funny is I want to say Elon Musk tweeted about them not too long ago too.
Oh, better watch out. That's going to go through the roof to the moon. You can buy Baby Shark tokens there if you want. A community-driven cryptocurrency focused on cleaning up the environment. And they'll sell it to you on Pancake Swap.
Yeah, but I thought that was cool. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out because the Queen had a nice little day over at the farmer's market.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that.
I saw those behind you. I wanted to ask about them.
And she sold
I want the
a few
rainbow eyeball
today.
one.
And this is one that she created here recently in honor of Pride Month. And this is just another one of her little plantastic potheads. And I'm just so proud of her. She's just turning this into a fun little hobby for her, and it just keeps her busy. And I said, I want to give you a shout out. And there's a couple more behind me.
So,
and they're neat.
Where can
I
I
did
get
get her website up.
I
did get her website up and running finally.
Oh, good.
I just haven't done the commerce page yet, but if people are interested, just give me a holler on social.
Oh, tell us the address. Come on.
This
All right,
plantasticpotheads.com.
Plantasticpotheads.com. I love it.
Yeah.
I love
it. Like I said, the site is up. I don't have the commerce side ready just yet, but if you're interested, just give me a shout. I think like this one in my hand is like $40.
They're really cool.
Yeah,
They're really
does a
cool.
Good job.
Oh, I just love them. And I love the little planners because we wanted to get the big ones for our deck, but now you've got the little ones too. Those are great.
Yeah, I think the smaller ones are like $40.
Yeah, really cute.
But yeah, she went to the farmer's market today and comes back just all smiles. I'm like, what you so happy about? She's like, I sold some. I was like, all right, thank you.
Hey. I love the ones behind you. That's great. That's really. Thank you, Ant. Ant Pruitt, twit.tv/hands-on-photography. Hop.
That's right.
Every week. Get some inspiration, get some photos, take some pictures, enjoy.
Got some fun stuff coming up, y'all. Keep checking our Hands on Photography. I got some fun stuff coming up.
I will.
Some interesting conversations and some tutorials. And this week's episode is, I'll just say it's based on this season. We'll just say that. So
nice.
Tune in.
And I also want to throw people to our photography, what would you call that? A channel, I guess? Yeah, in our Discord server.
In our Discord, yep.
Yep, lots of great pictures in there, conversations. You're in there, I know.
Yep.
And
one of our members, Mr. MJ Ryder, has suggested some a little bit of a show, if you will, and I think I'm going to do it, and I'm probably just going to do it for members only. So
get in the club.
Join Club Twit.
Twit.tv/Club Twit. One of the cool things about this, they've created their own Club Twit Flickr group.
Yep.
So you can use that as well to share photos. It's just one of the many reasons I'm really loving Club Twit. Our Discord server is so much fun.
It's so busy. There's always somebody in there.
Yeah, you're never alone when you're in the club. Let me tell you that. $7 a month, you get access to the Discord server. You get ad-free versions of all our show, audio and video. You also get the Twit Plus feed. We're going to put a show up on the Twit Plus feed this week, Sunday. Microsoft's having a big gaming event, and we're going to let members of the club join me. You know how we do that commentary during keynotes? I thought, hey, why doesn't everybody? So we're going to have the first 25 people who go into the video chat, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, will join me as we comment on Microsoft's keynote, and then that'll go out on the Twit Plus feed. We're working on some other things for the Twit Plus feed. It's a special feed of content that doesn't make it to the podcast. So all of that for $7. Just go to twit.tv/Club Twit. It's helped support the network. And I have to say, it's a great community. It's people who are wonderful in every way.
I concur.
Yes. Thank you, Jeff Jarvis, former TV guide, critic. Frank Sinatra called him a bum, but more importantly, the director of the town.
Stacey Higginbotham called me irascible. So
irascible. The irascible rascal, Jeff Jarvis, director of the Townite Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig
Newmark
Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Jeff, we love you. You're wonderful.
Love you
Go have some cacio e pepe or something delicious, maybe a taco. Pizza tonight. Nice. And, of course, Mother of Dragons, Stacey Higginbotham. Stacey on IoT.com. That's where her newsletter lives. She's also got a great podcast. Yes?
Oh, I'm going to pitch the podcast. So this Thursday's podcast, Paulus, I can't ever say it, Schautzen is the guest. He's the creator of Home Assistant. So tell your friends. Yeah.
I must listen.
He's good. I figured there's a big overlap in the Home Assistant and Twig crowd.
You
so
bet.
I figured y'all would want to
You
know.
bet. You can find the podcast on StaceyOnIoT.com. She does it with Kevin Toffel. It's the Internet of Things podcast. And Thursday, that one will be great. Can't wait. Subscribe to our podcast, too. Why not? There's a couple of ways you can participate. We do the show every Wednesday afternoon, about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. So if you're around at that time, you can stream it live, audio and video, from twit.tv/live. People who are streaming live often join the chat room at irc.twit.tv or the Discord chat. You can also go in there and converse in the background. Of course, I watch the chats and make sure we get all the content from there into the show. We also, have on-demand versions at our website, which is twit.tv/twig. In fact, when you're there, you'll see a link on the webpage to our YouTube channel. That's also got every show up there. And a couple of well-known podcast clients. But you also have the RSS link, too, so you can add that to whichever podcast client you like. And that's a good way to listen because it'll be available the minute it's done in its polished form. If you do subscribe at a podcast client and they allow you to leave reviews, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. For people who don't listen in real time but still want to chat, of course, there's lots of ways to do that. Yes, there's the Discord, but there's also the free twit.community, our forums. There's also twit.social, our Mastodon instance. It's kind of like a Twitter for the open source Fediverse. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week on Twig. Bye-bye.
Hey, if you like tech news, but you also like hearing about it from the people who are actually writing the stories, well, I've got a show for you. It's called Tech News Weekly, and it's me, Jason Howell, along with my co-host, Micah Sargent. Every week, we invite the people making and breaking the biggest tech news stories from around the web onto this show to talk to us about it. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out. Tech News Weekly can be found at twit.tv/TNW every Thursday. We'll see you there.